Yimo was shocked. He didn't dare to keep fighting this thing now. If it wasn't that this beast didn't have spirit sense nor magic, Yimo would be no match for it at all. Yimo was shocked. He didn't dare to keep fighting this thing now. If it wasn't that this beast didn't have spirit sense nor magic, Yimo would be no match for it at all. Seeing Yimo retreat, the immortal spirit beast chased over. Its speed was like a comet. Yimo quickly released Spacetime Boat and sped off running. When Yimo started running, he was dumbfounded. In his spirit sense and before him, there were these immortal spirit beasts everywhere. Some were very small, only 6 meters tall, but those big ones were larger than the immortal spirit beast he just fought. Some of them even had wings. How could he run? Yimo's battle with that immortal spirit beast startled the other immortal spirit beast, and they all came charging at Yimo. Seeing that he was surrounded by these immortal spirit beast, Yimo didn't dare to waste time. The space-time boat seemingly instant transmissioned out. As for whether Kai Mi was alive or dead, Yimo couldn't care. 10 seconds later, Yimo found that no matter where he went, there were these immortal spirit beasts. Some places had more, some places had less. Yimo found a place with less immortal spirit beast before calling Shadowless and Small Ginseng out. "Which of you know these immortal spirit beasts?" Yimo asked. Shadowless shook his head. Small Ginseng said, "Boss, they are called star beasts. They're neither immortal spirit beast or god beast, they're a type of beast living at the border. They only cultivate bodily power and strength, not essence spirit nor spirit sense. They have no god arts or magic, but ordinary god arts can't do anything to their power. When power is at a certain level, no immortal essence nor spirit sense is needed. Just pure power will tear through everything." Yimo nodded. Even his immortal king domain was useless under the pure power of these star beasts. Seeing Yimo agree, Small Ginseng looked at Shadowless gloatingly. "Where star beasts are, it must be the border of a realm domain. Usually, there would be Chaos Kai here, star beasts love that. Now, there are very little places with Chaos Kai, so there's very little star beasts. It's quite strange that there are so many here." Shadowless said awkwardly. "Small Ginseng, your knowledge is quite good." Small Ginseng said happily, "Of course, I also know that star beast cores are called star cores. They're used to make the top-grade body refinement immortal pills." As they spoke, some star beasts saw Yimo and already charged over. Yimo knew that it wasn't too plausible to keep running in a place like this, so he could only fight them. This time, the star beasts were all below 30 meters. Yimo hacked out Zishu. "Rainbow." The leading star beast saw this and roared, punching at Zishu. Fist and Zishu sword ray clashed, creating a huge blast. The ground collapsed. The sword ray left a mark on the beast's body. A blue liquid dripped out. Small Ginseng couldn't fight, so Yimo put him away. Meanwhile, Shadowless charged out. Small Ginseng behaved well just then. If he didn't do well and boss was unhappy, then Small Ginseng might be appointed big brother. Shadowless roared and opened his mouth. A 6-meter-tall star beast was devoured. Yimo was quite surprised with Shadowless' ferocity. The star beasts that fought Yimo was furious and roared as it charged at Yimo again. Yimo put away Zishu and flung out lightning. Lightning splashed in the air, whizzing everywhere. Then, in an explosion, the lightning gathered into a bucket-thickness lightning spear. The spear tore through the air and pierced down from the void. Thud. The pressure field turned to nothing under the lightning spear. Rumble. The spear pierced through the star beast's chest but didn't stop there. It penetrated the hard ground and nailed the star beast. The star beast looked dazedly at the spear before falling down. Yimo breathed easy. This thing was too hard to kill. He used 2 god arts to just kill one star beast that wasn't even 50 meter tall. "Woo-woo, this thing tastes bad." Shadowless sounded. With this, countless star beasts charged over. Yimo knew that lightning swords were probably completely useless. Heaven Flame 9 Suns would have quite some trouble, and it was too taxing on immortal essence and spirit sense. So, Yimo just used 4-stack wave kill. Waves of 100-meter-tall lava waves charged over. In the blink of the eye, it was a sea of flames before Yimo and Shadowless. The first wave swooped the countless star beast with terrifying force, but Yimo saw in shock that only some short star beasts were killed by the wave. Most of the star beasts were fine, at most just a bit withered. He just burned their layer of blue fur. Yimo rushed his immortal essence, pushing out the second, third, and fourth wave. The terrifying heat instantly melted this place. Explosions sounded, and after the 4 waves, these few thousand star beasts were either dead or injured. Some smaller star beasts had completely turned to dust while some larger ones were injured. Yimo was very shocked, for stack wave kill was extremely consuming on immortal essence and spirit sense, and even such terrifying attack couldn't kill all of them. These star beasts were too powerful. A roar sounded from the distance. Yimo knew he had to quickly run. If he didn't, he wouldn't be able to use 4 stack wave kill non-stop. If there were 50-meter tall star beasts, for stack wave kill wouldn't be able to injure them anyways. Yimo took the star beast he killed with lightning spear into the Golden Page World and dashed into the ground in Golden Page World. Yimo then threw the star beast to Shadowless. Shadowless ate it in a gulp. Although this thing tasted bad, Shadowless knew it benefited him so much. A day later, Yimo took Shadowless out of the Golden Page World again. The surrounding was filled with star beasts. Yimo didn't use 4 stack wave kill again. Yimo just released Zishu and started fighting them. Meanwhile, Zishu kept devouring them. At first, Shadowless could only eat 5-meter tall ones, but later on, he even dared to eat anything below 30 meters. If he was having trouble digesting, Shadowless would go into the Golden Page World immediately and come back out once he was done. Yimo was amidst the star beast crowd slaughter. He slowly understood that not only was immortal essence and spirit sense needed to kill them, but also a power law. This power law was very hard to control, but as long as you captured one sliver of it, you can even kill 30-meter tall star beasts with one strike, not using any god art. But if the star beast was taller than 30 meters, it surpassed this ordinary power law. As Yimo fought, those terrifying fists kept striking him. Even with his immortal spirit body tertiary stage power, his skin and flesh cracked. Yimo could only keep using body refinement cultivation method at the same time. Shadowless kept going in and out of the Golden Page World while devouring Star Beast. In this endless slaughter, they would immortal city run to another place if a Star Beast taller than 30m came. Yimo wanted to learn the power law through killing, while Shadowless just wanted to break through. Plus, there was no other way out in here other than killing Star Beasts. The place Star Beasts lived at was boundless. Yimo and Shadowless fought for a few months and flew for a few months. Eventually, Yimo just kept killing Star Beasts while cultivating his god art and refining his immortal essence and spirit sense. The place Star Beasts lived at was boundless. Yimo and Shadowless fought for a few months and flew for a few months. Eventually, Yimo just kept killing Star Beasts while cultivating his god art and refining his immortal essence and spirit sense. As for cultivation level, Yimo didn't plan to cultivate it. The main problem was that he didn't have enough cultivation resources. In this place, there was only Star Beasts. There would occasionally be some high-level forgery material, but no immortal range and immortal spirit herb. Yimo's main cultivation resources were from Changtian Immortal Monarch. Yimo got a top-grade immortal range and 2 middle-grade immortal ranges from there. There was also 1 billion immortal crystals. This really wasn't many immortal crystals for an immortal monarch, but he had large amounts of immortal spirit herb and forgery materials. These things were more important than immortal crystals for Yimo. A year later, Shadowless' power was rising steadily after devouring large amounts of star beasts, but Yimo's power didn't change at all. However, his immortal essence and spirit sense were more refined. Even a star beast that was taller than 30 meters would be affected by his world rock. 2 years later, Shadowless was near Heaven Dao Peak and Yimo's Tang Mengareo could injure a star beast taller than 30m. This endless slaughter and running would drive someone mad. But luckily, Yimo would go sit under the bitter bamboo every once in a while to meditate and digest what he learned before he went out to slaughter again. At the 5th year, Shadowless was Heaven Dao Peak stage, just one step away from Immortal Dao. Meanwhile, Yimo mastered all his god arts and reached Immortal King middle stage. However, the 3 immortal ranges were gone. When Yimo first came here, a 50m tall star beast could slap Yimo away easily and the world rock couldn't do anything against them. But now after 5 years, Yimo no longer feared the 50m tall star beasts. Those below 30m couldn't even last one round in Yimo's hands. Even 50m tall star beasts were often killed by Yimo. His god art, whether it was void, crevice, tang mengareo, or lightning sand, were all many times stronger. Another reason Yimo killed them so easily now was because only striking the lethal spot of the star beast would kill them in one move. Each star beast had different lethal spots. Shadowless could devour star beast that were below 50 meters now. The only one who didn't improve was Small Ginseng, but his main ability wasn't in fighting. Yimo estimated now that even if he faced Immortal Monarch middle stage, he wouldn't lose. Immortal Monarch middle stage wasn't necessarily as strong as Star Beast, but the only concern was that they not only had immortal essence but also spirit sense and god art. If there was a 100m tall Star Beast, then Yimo would have to run. There were many of these, he had only seen them 6 times in these 5 years. Due to Yimo and Shadowless' crazy carnage in this area, the Star Beast recognized the two, and if they came over, pretty much no Star Beasts wanted to fight them. Yimo and Shadowless were tired of killing too, so as long as they didn't come, they would just go their own way. These Star Beasts weren't completely dumb too. Seeing that if they didn't attack Yimo and Shadowless, they wouldn't get attacked, they knew to move away when Yimo and Shadowless came. The subtle rule that came to be was when Yimo and Shadowless came, the Star Beasts would move aside. When they left, they would go back. If there was a 100m tall Star Beast, Yimo and Shadowless would move away. What disappointed Yimo was that after searching for this long, he still didn't find a way out. There was no space fissure nor space whirlpool. He didn't have the power to tear this space open. Su Jingwen stood at the Immortal Ascension Palace feeling the dense immortal spirit Kai. She was shaking with excitement. She really wanted to ascend with Susu and them, but she really couldn't wait. She was thinking about Yimo every moment. She cultivated so hard just so she could come to see Yimo earlier. Now that she finally ascended, she just wanted to find Yimo quickly and go into his arms. UWN Heaven Shi Hao Immortal City, Immortal Ascension Palace. The words made Su Jingwen realize she came to a low heaven domain in the immortal realm. Su Jingwen had been in the cultivation realm for a while, but she did come from Earth and didn't know the hardship and cruelty of the immortal realm. When she just got to Luoyu continent, she lived a hard life and almost died, but after seeing Yimo and going to Moyu City, her power rose drastically. With Yimo's authority on Luoyu continent and Moyu City's status on Luoyu continent, Su Jingwen could do whatever she wanted there. But she didn't like to show off. However, if she said something, not even South Peace State but no one in the entire Luoyu continent would dare to rebuke. Su Jingwen thought that as long as she could find teleportation formation, she would be able to make it to Gonghua Heaven. Walking out of the Immortal Ascension Palace, Su Jingwen immediately felt extremely powerful spirit senses and immediately felt lacking confidence. She realized, this was no longer Luoyu continent Moyu City, but a strange immortal realm. Feeling those powerful and contemptuous spirit sense, Su Jingwen shivered and suppressed her excitement. She quickly looked down. She suddenly felt that the immortal realm in her mind was completely different to the real one. Which cultivation realm did you come up from? A loud voice interrupted Su Jingwen, and Su Jingwen saw a middle-aged immortal stop her path. His hair wasn't long but his power was much higher. Su Jingwen didn't know what power this person was, but she could tell it was many levels higher than her. Remembering Yimo telling her not to expose where she came from and just to meet up in Gonghua Heaven, Su Jingwen hesitated for a moment and said, "I came from Shincheong continent." Hearing this, the man shook his head and lost interest. Shincheong continent. Great, our San Cai Jade Immortal Sect's found father came from there, welcome. A fat immortal heard this and his eyes turned into a fine line with his smile. There were many immortals here at the Immortal Ascension Palace coming from big sects. They were here to fight the most excellent sect members for their sect. Most of the solo cultivators in the immortal realm were disqualified from rounds and rounds of selection. So, in order to get good disciples, one had to search among the newly ascended cultivators. Usually, unless you were extremely extraordinary, people wouldn't even be bothered fighting over you. This fat immortal saw Su Jingwen was quite pretty and from Shincheong continent, that's why he was a little interested. Sorry, I want to ask where the teleportation formation to Gonghua Heaven is. I just want to go Gonghua Heaveni. I don't want to join a sect yet. Su Jingwen quickly said. As soon as Su Jingwen said this, the nearby immortals laughed. A newly ascended truth realization state cultivator wanted to take the teleportation formation before even leaving the immortal ascension palace. This was too funny. Su Jingwen looked at the talent testing magic artifact but didn't reach her hand out to test it. She knew her talent. In the entire Luoyu continent, there was probably no one better than her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be the first to ascend to the immortal realm in such a short time. Su Jingwen looked at the talent testing magic artifact but didn't reach her hand out to test it. She knew her talent. In the entire Luoyu continent, there was probably no one better than her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be the first to ascend to the immortal realm in such a short time. These people came to test talent clearly for taking in sect members. If they found her talent was very good, they definitely wouldn't let her go easily. Place your hands into the testing immortal artifact. It can test your talent and age to determine your talent. The fat cultivator smiled at Su Jingwen. Sorry, I don't want to join these sects. My husband is in Gonghua Heaven. I just want to go to Gonghua Heaven to find my husband. Su Jingwen clenched her teeth and said. Before the fat immortal said anything, someone on the side laughed, looking for a Dao partner. There's people everywhere, why run to Gonghua Heaven? Su Jingwen glared at that person furiously. Seeing this, the person said, I said it, so what? Are you going to kill me? I want to see how a newly ascended hollow immortal is going to kill a golden immortal, haha. Su Jingwen turned to leave. She knew she couldn't beat anyone here. Plus, she knew this place forbids fighting. Haha. That immortal laughed again. You shouldn't go look for your husband, an insect like him is probably long dead. There's one right here. The fat immortal's face sunk. Su Jingwen dared to go without testing. Before he reproached Su Jingwen released her dual moon ice blades. How dare this person curse that Yi Mo was dead? The two ice blades carried a white ray of ice shooting at the immortal who laughed. Seeing this, everyone shook their heads. The rule here was the strong immortals must not attack the newly ascended cultivators. If a low-level cultivator dared to attack an immortal here, those with high power didn't need to hold back. He could deal with the attacker however he liked. Su Jingwen was tricked into attacking. This meant that this person could do whatever he wanted to Su Jingwen. Crack crack. The golden immortal just casually released his magic artifact and Su Jingwen's dual moon ice blades were broken. Seeing this, Su Jingwen was very anxious. Yi Mo gave her these blades. It had more meaning than the magic artifact itself. Just when Su Jingwen wanted to go up and take it back, she heard a sound transmission. You're a newly ascended cultivator, hurry up and run. Offending immortals here is asking for death. Hearing this, Su Jingwen suddenly realized, this place wasn't the cultivation realm anymore but the immortal realm. She had no right to talk, she could only find Yi Mo first. Thinking about this, Su Jingwen forcefully turned and flew towards outside. This golden immortal was waiting for Su Jingwen to come up and take her magic artifact and then attack her. This way, it would seem as though Su Jingwen started all this. However, Su Jingwen suddenly changed directions and flew out of the immortal ascension palace. The golden immortal dazed and chased out. The fat cultivator also chased out. Seeing this, the rest of the people of the immortal ascension palace all flew out. How could Su Jingwen not know she was in big trouble now? The immortal attacking her was already grabbing at her. At this moment, she saw a huge tablet outside. The tablet said, Mo Yu Immortal Sect welcome all immortal ascension cultivators from Luoyu continent. Su Jingwen charged over without hesitation and grabbed one corner of the tablet, saying loudly, I'm a cultivator of Mo Yu Immortal Sect. The golden immortal saw this and stopped attacking but sneered, Mo Yu Immortal Sect only welcomes Luoyu continent cultivators. What do you have to do with this place? You dared to attack me at Immortal Ascension Palace, I must take you away. The first immortal to ask Su Jingwen looked at her and asked, didn't you say you came from Shincheong continent? How come you're from Luoyu continent now? Su Jingwen was lost for words. The immortal shook his head. He's certain that Su Jingwen just wanted to escape this golden immortal and said she came from Luo Yu continent. Mo Yu immortal sect was dominant, but they wouldn't intervene in such thing. Seeing the Mo Yu immortal sect immortal shook his head, Su Jingwen was desperate. She knew that Yi Mo probably set up this sect. She quickly said, my husband is called Yi Mo. Since you're from Mo Yu immortal sect you should know him. What confused Su Jingwen was that the immortal shook his head. Sorry, I really don't know. Some Yi Mo little people knew that Yi Mo was the sect leader of Mo Yu. Even Lu Feng only knew later. Haha, keep making up stories. The golden immortal laughed. Your brother Yi's Dao partner? A joyful voice interrupted the golden immortal's words. Su Jingwen immediately said yes. Qian Bei, WN Bei's Dao partner is really Yi Mo. He told me to go wait for him at Gonghua Heaven. What proof do you have? Another voice sounded. A square-faced man landed in front of everyone. No one could tell the power of this person. Qian Bei, this woman just ascended and dared to attack immortals in the Immortal Ascension Palace. What she said was full of lies. This golden immortal quickly said. Piss off. The man yelled at the golden immortal. Su Jingwen immediately took out a crystal card and said, Qian Bei, this is my husband's image. The man didn't even take it and just scanned with his spirit sense before laughing. It's real indeed, you can put it away. Brother Yi, I've finally helped you a bit. The square-faced man said to Su Jingwen, I'm Yin Hui, you can call me by my name. I'm friends with Yi Mo, he's always been helping me. I came to join him this time, but I didn't expect to be able to help him. This is great. Out of the friends Yi Mo knew, Yin Hui was the most mysterious one, but he was a worthy friend. Yin Hui reached Immortal King this time and he came to Low Heaven Domain not to join Yi Mo but to repay his gratitude. Since Yi Mo was opening a sect here, he would come to cheer and support Yi Mo. Yes, Brother Yin. Su Jingwen called out in joy. Of course she wouldn't call him Yin Hui directly, she couldn't imagine the cultivation level of this Yin Hui. It was this insect who dared to attack you? Yin Hui pointed at the golden immortal and asked. Su Jingwen nodded, but before she said anything, the golden immortal said shakily, Qian Bei, WN Bei. How dare you lie to a king, die. Yin Hui let out a sword kai and the golden immortal was dead. Slaughter was forbidden in front of the Immortal Ascension Palace, but an immortal king was going to kill a golden immortal here, no one dared to say a thing. The fat immortal still wanted to bring out his sect, but hearing the word king, he didn't dare to say anything else and scurried away. Su Jingwen immediately went up to get the dual moon ice blades. Tempage, so what if you're an immortal king? An immortal king can kill people at our UWAN Heaven Immortal Ascension Palace? A cold voice sounded. An extremely powerful pressure came, even Yin Hui couldn't help retreating a few steps under this powerful pressure. A green-robed old man appeared before everyone. Yin Hui could tell this old man was at least an immortal king peak stage or even halfway immortal monarch. Yin Hui signaled Su Jingwen to stand behind him and saluted with his fists to this old man. A golden immortal dared to attack my friend's Dao partner, so what if I kill him? Yin Hui signaled Su Jingwen to stand behind him and saluted with his fists to this old man. A golden immortal dared to attack my friend's Dao partner, so what if I kill him? He couldn't beat an immortal king peak stage, but he wasn't scared. He had seen quite many immortal emperors already. A newly ascended cultivator? Seeing that Yin Hui wasn't scared of him, the green-robed old man acted a little more careful. Yes, Qian Bei, WN Bei is a newly ascended cultivator. That person was going to attack me, so Brother Yin intervened. Su Jingwen quickly said. What happened? Someone tell me. If it was some ordinary person, the green-robed old man would have used force. Yin Hui was not only an immortal king but wasn't scared of him at all. Who dared to speak about Mo Yu immortal sect things? That immortal from Mo Yu quickly went up and bowed. Qian Bei, she's a newly ascended cultivator from Luo Yu continent. The golden immortal whom Yin Qian Bei killed lusted after her beauty and wanted to take away her by force. Yin Qian Bei knows the elder of Mo Yu immortal sect, so he attacked in anger. This immortal from Mo Yu truly believed Su Jingwen was from Luo Yu continent now. She lied probably just to be careful. He almost made a mistake. Although some people knew that this immortal didn't speak the complete truth, No one wanted to say something extra now. Some people had recognized this green-robed old man to be Heaven Lord Alliance Vice Alliance leader Lu Yong. 10 years ago when Yi Mo disappeared with Chang Tian Immortal Monarch and Lu Zhengquan, he knew that Chang Tian Immortal Monarch was quite possibly dead. As for whether Immortal King Luo was dead, he still wasn't sure. Regardless, before he reached Immortal Monarch, he wouldn't go look for their trouble. Hearing that this involved Mo Yu Immortal Sect, he didn't want to intervene anymore. Offending Mo Yu for a mere golden immortal, he wouldn't do this unless he was brain damaged. Lu Yong sneered to everyone: if anyone dares to attack newly ascended cultivators, death. Then Lu Yong looked coldly at Yin Hui: one who attacks a newly ascended cultivator deserves to die indeed, but it's not the job of a foreign immortal king. If you dare to kill at the Immortal Ascension Palace, then don't blame the Heaven Lord Alliance. Lu Yong finished and his force rose drastically. The nearby immortals retreated. In fact, Lu Yong didn't want to fight Yin Hui at all, but he was in a tough situation. He was too free and came here for a spin. He wanted to assert dominance to relieve some annoyance he had, but now he met a tough one. A few immortal city and sects in the low heaven domains had all been devoured for no reason. As the Vice Alliance leader, he clearly had to investigate this. Yin Hui could tell that Lu Yong only wanted a way down. Just when he wanted to say some nice words, a terrifying scream sounded. The next moment, 9 huge disgusting heads appeared in the sky. Sticky mucus that was thicker than buckets dripped down from the head. 9-headed void-devouring bug. There were too many knowledgeable people in the immortal realm, almost everyone recognized it immediately. Countless immortals immediately released their magic artifact to run. The 9-headed void-devouring bug was a ferocious bug fed with souls. Its mouth could devour space, its saliva could corrode all things. When the 9 souls fused together, it would be invincible in the cultivation realm. When the 9-headed void-devouring bug came to the immortal realm and devoured large amounts of immortal essence living beings, it would grow out crests. Once there was crests, it can even devour immortal kings. There are 5 colors to the crests: red, green, blue, purple, gold. The red crest is the most ordinary king bug. Ordinary immortal kings are no match for it at all. When the crest reaches green and blue, even immortal monarch would have to flee. Purple-crested 9-headed void-devouring bugs aren't even scared of immortal emperors. Usually, golden-crested 9-headed void-devouring bug never appears. This 9-headed void-devouring bug's crest was pale green. Seeing this 9-headed void-devouring bug, Lu Yong immediately realized. Those immortal city and sects were all annihilated by this 9-headed void-devouring bug. If it was something else, he would be willing to fight it, but against this level of 9-headed void-devouring bug, even he can't do anything. Plus, he didn't know if the 9-headed void-devouring bug had a master. Seeing this, Lu Yong disappeared in a dashing light without hesitation. Lu Yong was the strongest here. Of course the 9-headed void-devouring bug wouldn't let him go. Its other heads sucked casually in the immortal city and then chased out in a black figure. The instant he saw the 9-headed void-devouring bug, Yin Hui knew it was over. Against such level 9-headed void-devouring bug, there was no way out except death. He was ready to deal a heavy blow to the 9-headed void-devouring bug before he died, but instead the 9-headed void-devouring bug chased after that green-robed immortal king. Even with its casual suck, 60% of the immortals on the ground had disappeared. Those who could survive were mostly great immortals. Yin Hui knew that after the 9-headed void-devouring bug killed Lu Yong, it would come back to this city and devour everyone. Yin Hui took out a rune and the urn instantly enveloped Su Jingwen. He patted out a rune too. 2 dashing lights flashed and the 2 disappeared from the city. Countless immortals took out the transmission runes and left. Lu Yong flew like crazy, but this 9-headed void-devouring bug was faster than him. Seeing that he couldn't get away, Lu Yong stopped and turned around, releasing a yellow lamp. Lu Yong activated a few hundred yellow flames. When they first appeared, they were only the size of a thumb, but when they neared the 9-headed void-devouring bug they were arm-sized and growing. Then, a few hundred more yellow lights were born. The 9-headed void-devouring bug didn't expect Lu Yong had such power. It was swept by a few yellow lights and a few bloody holes appeared on its head. The nine-headed void-devouring bug was infuriated and roared, shotting out countless black mist water lines. The yellow lights were immediately dimmed and Lu Yong's immortal king domain was crippled by this. Lu Yong felt his immortal essence stop and realized he was completely controlled by the nine-headed void-devouring bug. This nine-headed void-devouring bug was much stronger than he expected. Lu Yong didn't dare to keep fighting. He burned immortal essence and used a mobility technique. As soon as he left, the huge ugly head bit down. There was still some distance between the two, but when the nine-headed void-devouring bug bit down, Lu Yong and the space between them disappeared. Space devour. These were the last words of Lu Yong. The nine-headed void-devouring bug didn't stop at all and went back to Shihao Immortal City. Those immortals who didn't get away were all devoured. In a short time, the popular Shihao Immortal City was like a ghost city. At the Immortal Ascension Palace of another city, Yin Hui said desperately to an abstruse immortal, "Take Su Jingwen to Mo Yu Immortal Sect immediately and tell the few immortal kings that nine-headed void-devouring bug has appeared. I have some emergency, I need to leave." This abstruse immortal was the cultivator waiting at this Immortal Ascension Palace for Luo Yu continent cultivators. Yin Hui was desperate. He had to bring this news to the Grand Heaven Domain. Luckily he knew there was a teleportation formation to Middle Heaven Domain and it was in Extreme Wind Heaven. Usually, this teleportation formation wouldn't be opened unless it was a significant event. Goddess Jingwen, this is Mo Yu Immortal City. The grey-robed abstruse immortal pointed at the Grand City and said, "Goddess Jingwen, this is Mo Yu Immortal City." The grey-robed abstruse immortal pointed at the Grand City and said, "So beautiful." Su Jingwen looked dazedly at the huge city standing in the clouds. She had been to 2 immortal cities and they were a far cry to this. "I'll take you to City Lord Estate. Luo Yu continent cultivators don't need to be tested. The least they can do is become an outer sect member." Abstruse immortal said politely, "You're a cultivator from Luo Yu continent." A crisp voice interrupted this grey-robed abstruse immortal, asking Su Jingwen. The two immediately saw a blue-robed female immortal. She was extremely pretty and her figure was unparalleled. Even Su Jingwen felt ashamed comparing herself to this female immortal. "Yes, may I ask who you are, goddess sister?" Su Jingwen bowed. The grey-robed abstruse immortal quickly saluted with his fists. "Mo Yu Immortal Sect outer sect members, Yi Chao greet Qian Bei." The blue-robed female immortal smiled sweetly. "I'm Zhen Bingyu, not some Qian Bei." Hearing this, Su Jingwen quickly said, "Su Jingwen greet Goddess Bingyu." Zhen Bingyu nodded and asked again, "Did you come from Luo Yu continent?" She heard Yi Mo say that he came from Luo Yu continent. She had been in solitary cultivation for a decade and just reached Great Extreme Immortal. She really couldn't resist coming to see Yi Mo, so she came here. She didn't know about Yi Mo disappearing with Lu Zhongquan. "Yes, I came to find my husband Yi Mo. My husband told me to come find him at Gonghua Heaven," Su Jingwen said. Zhen Bingyu shivered and her face changed a little, but she soon recovered. She knew Yi Mo's wife was on Luo Yu continent, but now she finally ascended. This Su Jingwen was this pretty. She was certain that if Su Jingwen cultivated the body refinement cultivation method Yi Mo gave her, she would be on par with her. Women are the most sensitive. Even though Zhen Bingyu was countless times stronger than Su Jingwen had some thoughts after seeing the expression on Zhen Bingyu's face. "Qian Bei, if you have no business, WN Bei will take her inside the city," the grey-robed abstruse immortal said, seeing that Zhen Bingyu didn't talk nor leave. Zhen Bingyu woke up and shook her head. "I'm fine." She knew that Yi Mo had wife. She even thought that she didn't care Yi Mo had wife, but now when Su Jingwen stood before her, she realized how hard it was to face it. She didn't care about other things, but she didn't dare to stay in front of Su Jingwen for long. She found that she had plans to leave before even entering the sect. Seeing the two walk off, Zhen Bingyu suddenly said, "Su Jingwen isn't outer sect members, she's inner immortal spirit beast." Then, Zhen Bingyu turned to leave. She suddenly wanted to go back to the Chaos Star realm and keep cultivating. Yi Mo stood in this endless bluish-grey space. The ugly Z shoe still hung on his back. He had a sense of lost. This was his 10th year in here. In this time, His power completely stabilized at Immortal King middle stage, but there was no improvements. But in terms of battle power, Yimo believed even an Immortal Monarch tertiary stage was no match for him. He didn't know if Susu, Yangzhu, Jingwen, Qingxue and them were fine. He didn't know how Yimo was, he didn't know how Xiaoyun was. He was an Immortal King now, but he still couldn't go looking for them and was instead trapped here. In here, Yimo was a king, but this wasn't what Yimo wanted. Small Ginseng and Shadowless stood by Yimo's side. The two knew that Boss wasn't in a good mood, and talking to Boss now was asking for it. All the star beasts were extremely far, not a single one came over. Even those ones taller than 100m would pretend Yimo didn't exist if Yimo didn't go over. Boss, that tree is 70 centimeters tall. I heard that if it grows to 3 meters it can serve you as master, but growth gets harder and harder. Small Ginseng said quietly. Yimo patted Small Ginseng's head and said, good job, you've done very well. As for when it can grow to 3 meters, let it go naturally. Seeing Small Ginseng being praised, Shadowless immediately said, Boss, did you notice although these star beasts are scared of us? Small Ginseng interrupted Shadowless, so shameless. Those star beasts aren't scared of us, they're scared of Boss. Why do you keep bringing yourself into it? Shadowless laughed awkwardly. At least I can eat a bunch of star beasts, you haven't contributed at all. Yimo waved his hand, stopping the argument. You want to say that these star beasts won't allow us to go to the river forest valley in northwest? Yimo decided the directions here himself. The river forest valley was a special place. Almost all the 100m or larger star beasts were gathered there, and there was a hanging river. There were also trees with no leaves. The only place with trees in this space was there. The valley was shrouded in bluish grey and spirit sense couldn't scan in. They neared there a few times but was stopped by 100m tall star beasts. Although they couldn't do anything to the three, neither could the three do anything to them. Later on, Yimo knew that with his current power they couldn't get in, so he left. Shadowless quickly said, I meant to say that recently, all those star beasts larger than 30m are heading there. But there are very little star beasts below 30m going in. Hearing this, Yimo realized it was indeed so. The star beasts around him were all below 30m. Yimo immediately felt something happened at the river forest pond. We'll go see as well, Yimo said, and then he heard roars. A few star beasts larger than 30m appeared in Yimo's spirit sense. Soon, Yimo noticed that all the star beasts who came over were missing arms and legs. Their face was full of worry. A few star beasts ran up to Yimo and beckoned while pointing at river forest pond with a desperate face. Yimo looked at the star beast and asked, what do you mean? Did something happen there? You want me to help? The star beast kept nodding. Yimo frowned. He guessed the valley probably wasn't some exit but where the star beasts cultivated. That's why he didn't plan that he must go there. While Yimo was hesitating, Shadowless immediately said, Boss, these blue furs clearly want to harm us. If it's something even they can't beat, then they probably have some evil plans calling us to help. Small Ginseng said too, that's right, Boss, these beasts might have bad intentions. But Yimo knew these star beasts weren't cunning. He thought for a moment, let's go see. If things go bad we can run. A few injured star beasts saw that Yimo was willing to help, so they joyfully went ahead to lead the way. A few injured star beasts saw that Yimo was willing to help, so they joyfully went ahead to lead the way. With their speed, they just used 15 minutes to get outside River Forest Valley. The inside was still filled with a bluish-grey mist. Even with spirit sense, one could only obscurely see some river flowing and empty tree branches. Other than this, there were a few hundred star beast bodies at the entrance to the valley. The bones were bitten and filled with holes. There were some shiny black ants attached on the bones. Clearly the star beasts were devoured by them. Yimo knew these ants. Before Yimo spoke, Small Ginseng and Shadowless called out in shock, metal devouring bugs. Yimo nodded, that's right. Yimo had seen these once in the 7 refined tower of Yuan Le Heaven. At the time, he only saw around tens of thousands of them. They were from level 3 to level 5. With his power, he could only hide on the side while they flew over. Although Yimo hadn't seen just how many metal-devouring bugs there were here, but there were definitely more than tens of Thozuans, and they would be more than level 5. It was impossible for level 5 metal devouring bugs to even make a mark on the star beasts. A few metal devouring bugs noticed them and charged up. Yimo hacked out with Z-Shu and there was the sound of hard metal clashing. Those metal devouring bugs were hacked away, but they only wobbled a bit and were lightly injured. This is level 7 metal devouring bugs, you guys go inside. Yimo immediately knew that these weren't things that Shadowless and small ginseng could take on. If there were only a few it would be fine, but once there were too many even Shadowless would have to await death. No wonder these star beasts would be devoured clean. If the level 7 metal devouring bugs attacked together, even the most powerful star beast would have to die. Since it was metal devouring bugs, Yimo wasn't too worried. They were fast but he wasn't slow. If he was no match for them, he could run away. This time, the star beasts didn't stop them going in the valley. When Yimo went in, he immediately spread out his spirit sense. He finally realized why these star beasts would be scared and gradually killed off. A tidal wave of metal devouring bugs covered tens of 100m tall star beasts. Those below 100 meters were long dead. These 100m star beasts blocked the entrance of the valley clearly, so the metal devouring bugs can't charge out of it. These star beasts were very powerful, but they couldn't do anything against the metal devouring bugs. They could only rub or smash. That way, even if a small portion died, most of the metal devouring bugs would still be fine. Yimo looked at a 110m star beast collapse due to metal devouring bugs. That star beast only struggled a little and were even loped by the metal devouring bugs. The metal devouring bugs went in through the star beast's eyes and nose and soon devoured the star beast from the inside out. Yimo took in a cold breath. Even that 110m star beast only struggled a little, and most of these metal devouring bugs were mostly level 6, some level 5 and little level 7. There were about tens of thousands of them. There were 2 that reached level 8. If such terrifying metal devouring bugs went into the immortal realm, it would be a disaster. Even the Grand Heaven domain would be devoured by these terrifying metal devouring bugs unless someone had the Heaven Flame 9 Suns like him. Yimo didn't doubt people having god arts similar to the Heaven Flame 9 Suns in the immortal realm. The immortal realm was boundless and there were countless masters. There would be large-scale massacre god arts. Seeing Yimo come in, a few taller star beasts whined and couldn't make any more sounds. Now that they called Yimo, it was clear that they asked for help. Before Yimo attacked, the metal devouring bugs charged at Yimo like a tidal wave. At this moment, Yimo didn't dare to hold back. 5 blue golden suns rose up. Yimo used Heaven Flame 9 Suns at full power immediately. He had 2 immortal flames now. The first was blue like morning sky and second was South Abyssal Void Flame. Yimo used blue like morning sky straight up. Countless blue rays shot out, sweeping over 1,000-kilometer radius. Sizzling sounds came up everywhere. Everything that was burned by this flame would turn to dust. Yimo's condensed spirit sense and immortal essence made these metal devouring bugs charging at him fall in the turn of an eye. The air that was filled with metal devouring bugs loosened up. Those metal devouring bugs that fell to the ground smoked in a moment and disappeared. The metal devouring bugs was terrifying, but to them, the Heaven Flame 9 Suns was more terrifying. Those metal devouring bugs below level 7 couldn't resist at all, and the level 7 ones were shaky. Yimo called out Shadowless, and Shadowless swooped all those shaky metal devouring bugs away. As Yimo charged into the valley, the metal devouring bugs cracked like popcorn. When Yimo used Heaven Flame 9 Suns, he only protected Shadowless but not those star beasts. Those surviving star beasts seemed more withered under the Heaven Flame 9 Suns, but the metal devouring bugs attached to them were completely burned. They couldn't care about the damage brought to them by Heaven Flame 9 Suns. They were completely dazed. This neighbor had been with them for a decade, but it was their first time seeing he had such terrifying power. If Yimo used such sun on them, it was be extinction. These star beasts looked fearfully at Yimo, not daring to disrespect him at all. They didn't know that even if Yimo used Heaven Flame 9 Suns, he wouldn't be able to annihilate them, much less Yimo didn't plan to annihilate them. Yimo's slaughter finally made the 2 level 8 metal devouring bugs scream in horror. The remaining level 7 metal devouring bugs gathered together and charged at Yimo with the 2 level 8 ones. Their wings were burned by heaven flame 9 suns and could only wobble in the air. It was perfect for Yimo that they gathered and charged at him together. The instant they came, Yimo punched out. 5-stack wave kill. A terrifying immortal flame smashed out, burning out ripples in the space. Some injured metal-devouring bugs died immediately, some survived, but then the second and third wave came. Then, the fourth and fifth wave came. Even the most powerful metal-devouring bug couldn't take heaven flame 9 suns and 5-stack wave kill. In that moment, all level 7 metal-devouring bugs were destroyed. The only 2 remaining level 8 metal-devouring bugs screamed and wanted to run. How could Yimo let them get away? Although he used lots of spirit sense and immortal essence, he could still use another 1 or 2 god art. As he released Zishu, Yimo waved out lightning sand. Rumbling sounded in the void, countless lightning arcs fused together into a 30 kilometers long lightning spear. The 2 level 8 metal-devouring bugs wanted to run, but Yimo was waiting for them with tens of spirit sense blades on the side. One metal-devouring bug was hit by spirit sense blades and became wobbly. The other was hacked by Zishu and wanted to run. Theoretically, level 8 metal-devouring bugs was equivalent to Immortal Monarch, but their battle power relied on numbers. Individual metal-devouring bugs were far weaker than ordinary Immortal Spirit Beast of their level. Rumble, the lightning spear pierced the 2 metal-devouring bugs. They just made an even sharper howl and was smashed away. Before Yimo said anything, Shadowless dashed over and swooped the 2 metal-devouring bugs into its mouth. Shadowless was busy devouring the metal-devouring bugs, but Yimo looked at these slanted rivers and was a little shocked. The colors were different, but the deeper in the valley, the darker the water. Shadowless was busy devouring the metal-devouring bugs, but Yimo looked at these slanted rivers and was a little shocked. The colors were different, but the deeper in the valley, the darker the water. Yimo scanned his spirit sense into the river water but found his spirit sense had this hurting sensation. He quickly took back his spirit sense and walked to one of the rivers and felt his hand in. It was bone-piercing cold. Yimo almost felt his hands were being corroded by this liquid. Yimo quickly took out his hand but found his hand to be fine and his skin seemed smoother. A powerful feeling surged up. This is a body refinement place. Shadowless stared at these rivers with light in his eyes. Yimo woke up. No wonder the star beasts were that powerful. They had such a body refinement place. And, there seemed to be a type of power in this river. Would he be able to learn it? Thinking about this, Yimo rejoiced. He couldn't cultivate in this place and could only kill. He was long sick of it. If he could body refinement, then it was still cultivation. He was immortal spirit body tertiary stage. If he reached immortal god body, even if it was just primary stage, his body would be on par with ordinary immortal emperor body. In that case, even if his power was a little weaker, he wouldn't fear ordinary immortal monarchs anymore. Yimo sped up to the second river and placed his hand in. A more painful scorching pain came up. Yimo knew that if he wanted to go in there for body refinement, he would have to use body refinement cultivation method. Yimo realized, the deeper he went, the stronger effect these rivers had. Those tens of star beasts saw Yimo going around in the rivers but didn't dare to go up. Even those taller than 100 felt very threatened by Yimo. The metal-devouring bugs almost annihilated them all, but this newcomer easily wiped them out. It was clear who was the strongest. Yimo just went into a suitable river and said to Shadowless, go find a place for body refinement. If those star beasts comes up to annoy us, just eat them. If not, then don't provoke them. I don't want to eat those mosquitoes. Shadowless jumped excitedly into a river he had chosen in. Seeing the two go in, those star beasts breathed easy. There were many rivers here. If Yimo just used them for body refinement, it didn't damage anything and so was fine. After resting easy, those star beasts gathered up and crushed the remaining metal-devouring bugs. When things calmed down, those star beasts went into the river for body refinement, but they would choose a rather further place from Yimo and Shadowless. After experiencing the ravage of the 9-headed void-devouring bug, the low heaven domain gradually calmed down, not because the 9-headed void-devouring bug didn't dare to devour immortal cities and sects, but more than 10 immortal emperors from the grand heaven domain came down together. They battled the 9-headed void-devouring bug and the owner. Eventually no one could do anything to each other, so they came in agreement. That was the 9-headed void-devouring bug wasn't allowed to ravage the immortal realm, and its master was allowed to set up his own sect in the Grand Heaven domain. Of course, they could only let it go for those immortal cities devoured. Immeasurable people died in this disaster. Even Moyu immortal sect lost a few disciples. Now, it had been another decade since the 9-headed void-devouring bug disaster and more than 3 decades since Emo disappeared. At Fendu Heaven, Jakue Immortal City Big Square, countless immortals gathered again. This time, there were a few thousand immortal kings and some immortal monarchs. Chmph, Yang Jotian, it's this guy again. A handsome man sneered outside the square. This grey-robed man also had a handsome face, and when he heard this, he just glanced at the blue-robed man and snorted with equal contempt. A loser dares to be cocky. Then the grey-robed man left. When Emo comes, I want to see how you will be cocky in front of me. A white-robed, veiled female immortal walked over. Martial brother Ding, I suspect Yang Jotian hid his power. Perhaps he isn't Immortal King primary stage at all, his Immortal King tertiary stage. These two were Ding Jie and Zhantai Yi. Because Emo mentioned Yang Jotian and Ding Jie couldn't find a match, but he happened to find Yang Jotian. Thus, the two fought without saying anything. Ding Jie was unparalleled in the Grand Heaven domain, but he couldn't beat Yang Jotian. If he didn't have a few life-saving magic artifact, he would have been killed by Yang Jotian. This time they came to Fandu Heaven because the Outer Realm Star domain might be open. For this, almost all the immortal kings came. Of course, more Great Eternity Immortal wanted to go in, so they came too. Ding Jie nodded, but after a while he said, after coming back from the Star Domain, I'm going to find Emo. Emo said he's going to Chaos Star Realm. I wonder if he went. Just when Zhantai Yi wanted to answer, more than 10 figures landed on the high stage in the center of the square. Most immortals knew the leading person. It was one of the 4 Grand Emperors, Fengkong Grand Emperor. Behind him was Wei Feng and Dragon River Grand Emperor. As soon as Fengkong Grand Emperor came out, the immortals at the square fell silent. Fengkong Grand Emperor nodded happily and said loudly, there has been lots of things happening recently. Only a few decades ago we found the small heaven domain allowing many Great Eternity Immortal who have been stuck to reach Immortal King. And now in a short while, we found the entrance to another heaven domain. Of course, it might not be a star realm, but based on the Chaos Kai coming out of it, it's quite possibly the entrance to an Outer Realm Star domain. The people below immediately became excited, especially some Immortal King peak stages and Great Eternity Immortal peak stages. Everyone knew that there were entrances to the Chaos Star Realm from Low, Middle and Grand Heaven domain, and going in from each entrance resulted in a different scene. But over countless years, people have never seen Outer Realm Sat domain. If the Outer Realm Star domain was 9 levels of the Chaos 36 domains, then this unexcavated star domain would have countless treasure. Fengkong Grand Emperor waved his hand. Everyone calm down. The Black Whirlpool might not lead to Chaos Star Realm, we only guess so. There's some laws inside. It would strongly reject Immortal Emperor or Immortal Monarch who have mastered a law. Thus, it only allows people who haven't mastered a law to go in. Hearing this, Yang Jotian frowned. He didn't know if he could go in. His power returned to Immortal King tertiary stage and his space law was getting complete, but because he wasn't at that cultivation state, his law wasn't mastered. He had to go in this if it was the Outer Realm Star domain. It would be dripping in wealth. He didn't lack cultivation methods but cultivation resources. Of course, if this isn't the entrance to the star domain, then there would be danger going in. As for what danger it is, you will be responsible for it yourself. Fengkong Grand Emperor's tone went cold. How can we cultivators be scared of danger? If we fear danger all the time, we might as well hide at home. Fengkong Grand Emperor said, and people immediately conformed. How can we cultivators be scared of danger? If we fear danger all the time, we might as well hide at home. Fengkong Grand Emperor said, and people immediately conformed. Then, Fengkong Grand Emperor threw out a huge crystal ball showing the entrance of the whirlpool. If Emo was here, he would notice that this whirlpool was much larger than the one he entered in. It was extremely black but spun far slower than the one he went in. When the immortals saw the black whirlpool, Feng Kong Grand Emperor said again at the same time, "I need to remind everyone that according to our calculations, this whirlpool would spin the opposite way only after 12 years. That's when everyone can come out, so before you go in, you need to think carefully." For most cultivators, 12 years was the blink of an eye, it was nothing. How to use these 12 years to find the most cultivation resources was the most important. But one thing I need to remind everyone is that if you don't come out after 12 years, this whirlpool will disappear. As for when it would next appear, no one knows. After going in the star realm, you must hand up all level 9 and above immortal spirit item, otherwise death. But those who hand them up will be rewarded heavily. Hearing this, everyone shivered. There was no way around this. But some smart people felt relaxed instead. If the Grand Emperors didn't want anything, then that would be strange. In a slanted river, Yi Mo was sitting inside. The river water formed ripples around him. Extremely little impurities were excreted out of his body. His body and power was still increasing. As time went on, the water rustled around him. Eventually, the water left the river and circulated around Yi Mo. Soon, Yi Mo was encompassed by the water and obscured. Rumble. A huge explosion sounded, blasting away all the water around Yi Mo. Just when the water evaporated in the air, the river Yi Mo was in dried up. At this moment, Yi Mo's long hair flowed down, the muscles on his body were perfect. The star beasts saw the explosion and didn't even dare to come near, they all moved away. Yi Mo gave himself a few dust removal spells and took out a clean set of clothes and flew into the air howling. After all these years of hard work, he had changed countless rivers and today, he finally reached immortal god body. Even in the immortal realm, immortal god body was very rare. Although theoretically, the immortal emperor body was on par with immortal god body, but its recovery and defensive capabilities were weaker than immortal god body. Reaching immortal god body meant that Yi Mo had the power to stand firm in the immortal realm. Even against an immortal emperor, he would have some chance of getting away. Plus, Yi Mo learned a new law in the river, and that was power law. In the ancient times, power law was the most basic and simple law in the immortal realm, but it was the hardest to reach the highest state. In all the ways of Tao vindication, vindication through power was the hardest. No one has ever succeeded. It was easy to learn power law but hard to reach initial mastery. So as time went on, there were very little people in the immortal realm who went to learn power law. Eventually, power law disappeared. Until today, Yi Mo finally learned power law in this bluish-gray space. Even if he didn't vindicate Tao with power law was extremely important. "Boss, you reached immortal god body?" Shadowless ran over. Yi Mo waved his hand. "I've begun looking into power law and I reached immortal god body. There's no point in staying here, we can go and try find a way out." However, it was a pity that he couldn't take the river away. If he did, it would lose the body refinement power law. Otherwise, Yi Mo would at least take half the rivers here. Shadowless was long bored of this place. Nad quickly followed behind Yi Mo. All the star beasts quickly moved out of the way. On the way, Yi Mo was thinking about where those metal-devouring bugs came from. There definitely was none here before, but then suddenly so many appeared. What is this place? A few hundred immortals appeared in this bluish-gray area. Then, a few hundred more appeared. Soon, there were more than 10,000 people here. This doesn't seem to be the outer realm entrance to Chaos Star Realm. Not necessarily. When you first enter the Chaos Star Realm, it's bluish-gray too, like here. Yes, but this place is barren, there's nothing. This immortal king didn't finish, but everyone knew there's almost no immortal spirit Kai here. It would be strange if there were immortal spirit items here. Most people guessed that this might really not be the entrance to Chaos Star Realm but an independent dimension. As for what dangers there were, no one wanted to try first. Look, what are those immortal spirit beasts? One Great Eternity Immortal Peak Stage pointed at 2 star beasts and said in shock. What level immortal spirit beast are they? Can't tell, they're covered in blue fur, they seem very strong. I'll go have a look. One Great Eternity Immortal Tertiary Stage flew out of the crowd and neared the 2 star beasts. The 2 other GIT also followed carefully. Seeing this great eternity immortal get close, the two star beasts immediately ran. They had the subconscious feeling that those people who came were like Emo. Seeing this, the great eternity immortal immediately released his magic artifact. These immortal spirit beasts are very scared, they're probably not strong. I'll kill one first. Then, the great eternity immortal attacked with his magic artifact. His magic artifact struck the star beast head-on, but the star beast wasn't injured at all. Seeing he was attacked, the star beast roared and slapped with his palm. Splurge. This great eternity immortal was smashed to pulp. Defy immortal spirit beast was too absurd. A great eternity immortal attacked with magic artifact but didn't do any damage and was instead slapped to death. Defy immortal spirit beast was too absurd. A great eternity immortal attacked with magic artifact but didn't do any damage and was instead slapped to death. The other two great eternity immortals saw this and quickly ran. This star beast saw that although these people looked like Emo but was far weaker, they stopped running. They charged back and slapped down too. These two great eternity immortal couldn't even break free from the force binding of the star beast and was instantly slapped to death. Then the two star beasts charged into the crowd. Finally someone in the crowd recognized and yelled out, "This is Star Beast. Their hide is extremely thick, ordinary magic artifact can't damage them at all. They live on the border realms, they don't cultivate immortal essence nor spirit sense, but they have extremely strong power." Rumble. The palm of a star beast clashed with an immortal king's magic artifact. This time, the lower than 30m star beast was smacked away. But even so, the star beast wasn't injured at all. But the two realized that there were people who could beat them here, so they retreated and disappeared. Luckily they left. This thing is too scary. Those below immortal king would meet certain death. One great eternity immortal said with fear. The immortal king who struck the star beast away said heavily, "You don't understand star beasts at all. They appear in packs. They would be overwhelming. There might just be two here, but there would be countless times more than us coming." This immortal king changed to a more serious tone. "I heard that there are star beasts larger than 30m. If we encounter these, it would be extremely hard for us to even run, but I heard that star beasts are usually very violent and would never retreat. It's very strange that these two retreated." Hearing this, the immortals fell silent. If that was the case, then they wouldn't be thinking about how many immortal spirit herb to collect in these 12 years, but how would they survive? Now, pretty much everyone had been teleported in. With discussion, most people started to think about a way out. First, there were star beasts everywhere. Second, this wasn't Chaos Star Realm. We need to leave here quickly and find a safe place first. Someone suggested. Leave. In the habitat of star beasts, there are star beasts everywhere. We're very lucky that there was just two here. One immortal king said in contempt. As soon as he said this, he saw a few thousand star beasts charge over. With this, everyone tensed their minds. Don't worry, form teams and attack with magic artifact. Attack one together, we have lots of people. All the immortal kings extend out your immortal king domains to stop these star beasts. One immortal monarch primary stage immediately yelled. The strongest person here was only immortal monarch primary stage, and ones who could come in didn't achieve great mastery in lore. With this, people started to form teams. There were about 20,000 people here, and 5 immortal monarchs. There were 2,000 immortal kings and the rest were great eternity immortals. The 20,000 people clashed with the few thousand star beasts. Magic artifact ravaged, immortal essence burst everywhere. There were great eternity immortals and immortal kings being slapped to death non-stop, but there were also star beasts being killed. Although star beasts were powerful, most of the star beasts that came didn't exceed 30 meters. Their weakness was obvious. These immortals soon found the weak spots of star beasts after some battle. As everyone spread out this experience, the even battlefield skewed towards the immortals. As more and more star beasts died, they finally couldn't resist retreating. Soon, the rest of the star beasts were gone, leaving behind a ravaged land and a stack of bodies. This battle was short, but a few hundred immortals died. Meanwhile, only a few hundred star beasts died, and this was because star beasts over 30m didn't come. Otherwise, At least half the immortals here would die. These things are so powerful, there's so many of us and we only barely one. It seems we can't wander off alone, we must act together. One immortal king panted. I don't think it's so simple. The leading immortal monarch frowned. A few thousand star beasts isn't a lot at the border realm, it's little. The most important thing is that there isn't star beasts beyond 30m, according to what I know. There's not only 30m tall star beasts but also some 100m tall star beasts. If it's one of these, even I would have to run and I might not even get away. Hearing this, the scene fell silent again. If not even an immortal monarch can get away, the rest of the people's fate was clear. Some essence spirits who have lost their bodies floated helpless in the air, not knowing where to go. Immortal monarch master, what do we do now? One immortal king broke the silence and asked what everyone wanted to ask. Do you guys have a better idea? That immortal monarch couldn't think of a better idea. Another immortal monarch said the only way is to build an immortal city here. We don't need to build a huge one, we just need it to block these star beasts. We can use their beast cores to concoct top-level body refinement pills. We can hunt star beasts as we find a way out. If we can't cultivate, we'll use these beast cores for body refinement. That probably won't work. Powerful star beasts are taller than 30m, no matter how sturdy the immortal city wall is, it probably won't stop them. Another immortal monarch said. The immortal monarch who suggested this said again, of course we can't just rely on the immortal city, but star beasts have a weakness, and that is they don't cultivate essence spirit and spirit sense. They just rely on more power. If we set up large amounts of illusion formation and stealth formation or even transmission formation, we'd pretty much be fine. Almost everyone agreed to this suggestion. With hope comes motivation. These immortals immediately began building a city. With 20,000 people building a city and the weakest being Great Eternity immortals, this immortal city was built with extreme speed. Of course, the city walls weren't built with the best materials, but the formations were set up with good materials. Yimo was searching for a way out. Yimo saw star beasts move away, but he stopped. He found that many star beasts were wounded. They seemed like magic artifact wounds. Did people come here? Or was it Kai-mi? Thinking about this, Yimo immediately came up to an injured star beast and grabbed it. All the star beasts here knew Yimo and Shadowless. Seeing Yimo grab him, he didn't dare to move at all. Yimo checked the wounds carefully. It was indeed caused by magic artifact. It really did seem that foreigners have come. This isn't the work of Kai-mi. They were injured by different magic artifacts. I'll go have a look. Yimo left the star beasts behind. Soon, Yimo saw a immortal city being built and there were all sorts of formation outside. There really were people here. Yimo didn't know where they came from and was about to go look. Boss, it's Kai-mi, that old bastard. Shadowless called out. At the same time, Yimo found Kai-mi too. Without hesitation, he charged at Kai-mi. Kai-mi also looked at Yimo immediately. He had been hiding in here for a few decades and found that many people have suddenly arrived. Without hesitation, Kai-mi started to run. He wasn't scared of Yimo, he was certain Yimo would chase up. He thought the same as Yimo, to kill him at a place where there was no one. Yimo and Kai-mi came and went quickly. Those people building the immortal city didn't notice them at all. Yimo and Kai-mi came and went quickly. Those people building the immortal city didn't notice them at all. Yimo only chased for 5 minutes and knew that Kai-mi's cultivation level was much stronger than before. And, these star beasts feared him but Kai-mi as well as they didn't stop Kai-mi either. At the same time, Yimo felt that Kai-mi wasn't really trying to escape from him but was instead trying to draw him somewhere. Kai-mi wasn't even scared of him, realizing this, meaning that Kai-mi already knew he wouldn't let him go. Shadowless, this old bastard is trying to lead us somewhere. When I fight with him later, you stay on the side and find an opportunity to ambush him. Yimo sound transmissioned to Shadowless. Shadowless immediately nodded. He loved ambushing people, but when he reached Heaven Dao, his body changed and couldn't ambush people with the size of a pea. The immortal city built here was called Star Defense Immortal City. This immortal city was built very fast, but the formations were set up slowly. However, with tens of immortal formation masters and great masters, the city defense formation was finally set up. It was made up of a few level 6 immortal formations. But in here, star beasts might not even be able to break a level 4 immortal formation unless it's those star beasts that mastered the power law and all came to attack, but that was impossible. Those star beasts who mastered power law would be at least 100m or higher. These star beasts rarely came out. They are pretty much all at River Forest Valley to protect the body refinement area. There were hundreds of millions of star beasts in this bluish-grey area, but there weren't many star beasts who could reach 100m and above. It not only required talent but also fortune. The immortals in the city immediately felt they had nothing to do after the star beasts stopped attacking. It was hard to cultivate here and they couldn't go out easily. Helplessly, most immortals could only choose to body refinement. Soon, many people found that the body refinement pills made with star beast cores were extremely effective. There was even a sliver of chaos wave inside, making people understand more about their god art and cultivation method. Realizing this, two things became precious. One was body refinement cultivation method, the other was star pills. They were pills made from star beast core. No matter where it was, as long as there was incentive, there would be those fighting for it. Many people started forming teams and left the city to hunt for star pills. Some people came back loaded, some could never come back again, but more and more people went outside the city. Yang Jiutian also went out, but he didn't go for the star beasts. Since there was Chaos Kai here, he only needed to find the source of it and he would be able to find something precious. This can be the place of your burial. Kai Mi suddenly stopped and stared coldly at Yi Mo. At the same time, he reached out a huge hand and grabbed at Yi Mo. As soon as his hand reached out, the fingers turned into 5 boundless mountains and smashed from above Yi Mo. 5 extremely yin-sha killing intent locked the nearby space. It was as though the sky was falling. Yi Mo was chasing Kai Mi, but he was on alert. Seeing this, he smashed out the world rock without hesitation. A powerful immortal essence backlash came. Yi Mo felt his chest go heavy and he was shocked. His power was many times stronger than when he came in here, but this Kai Mi improved at a faster speed than him. He had the upper hand on the first attack. It had only been a few decades and Kai Mi surpassed him. If this guy had more time, how could he be a match? Kai Mi was surprised that the world rock stopped his yin-sha heaven claw. His yin-sha heaven claw dominated in this dimension. Even the sturdy body of the star beasts couldn't take his yin-sha heaven claw, much less Yi Mo's mountain magic artifact. But the magic artifact stopped it. Blood River 9 Falls. Kai Mi roared and waved his hand. The blood spear was released and at the same time, 9 blood rivers fell from the sky. There was less quantity of the river, but the power was many times stronger. The dense bloody smell with this shocking killing intent instantly loomed over this space. The invisible lethal force squeezed the nearby void, cracking. Yi Mo knew that even if he called Shadowless out, Shadowless wouldn't be able to devour this blood river. None of his god art would be able to stop this blood river. Seeing Yi Mo, who was illuminated red by the river, Kai Mi snarled, "I want to see how you're going to keep acting cocky. You dare to hunt me for a few decades, letting you die is too simple." As Kai Mi spoke, the blood spear made a petrifying sound and charged at Yi Mo with even more ferocity. Yi Mo suddenly reached out his arms and howled, "Void." Then he punched out 9 consecutive punches. Yi Mo's face went pale. If he wasn't immortal god body, just using void 9 times would cripple his body. Against this powerful blood river 9 Falls, there was no other way for Yi Mo other than void. "You're asking to die." Kai Mi sneered, seeing Yi Mo dare to punch his blood river. No one knew the blood river better than him, it would corrode everything. Plus, he fused the yin-sha he found in this space inside. The endless lethal force in the void suddenly split apart. Some were swept away by the blood river, some formed a lethal force whirlpool and smashed with the blood river. Rumble, rumble, rumble. In the clash, the nearby space and domain were shattered. Blood splashed and immortal essence dispersed. Yi Mo's face went pale, there was a sliver of blood on his lips. He knew Kai Mi was far stronger than he expected. He was heavily injured. This is impossible. Kai Mi looked at the shattered blood river in disbelief. It was impossible for an immortal king to punch his blood river. Unless Yi Mo was at least immortal god body. Before Kai Mi could say that Yi Mo was immortal god body, a shadow dashed towards him. Before Kai Mi could say that Yi Mo was immortal god body, a shadow dashed towards him. It was that guy again. Kai Mi recognized Shadowless as soon as he came out. He hated Shadowless just as much as he hated Yi Mo. It was Shadowless who forced him to this world. But Shadowless was too fast. Just when he reacted, Shadowless bit over with its big mouth. Kai Mi heavily injured Yi Mo, but he paid a price for it too. In that blink of an eye, Shadowless actually ate Kai Mi. Idiot, spit him out quickly, Yi Mo said desperately. Kai Mi was an divine emperor. Although his immortal essence was damaged, his essence spirit was still very powerful. Unless Shadowless was immortal Dao, it would be suicide to eat Kai Mi. Shadowless felt something wrong after he ate Kai Mi and spat Kai Mi out immediately. It was only a blink of an eye, but Shadowless was also heavily injured. However, Kai Mi also seemed withered. He was covered in Shadowless stomach acid and his immortal essence was chaotic. Yi Mo released Zishu before Kai Mi could attack. Crevice. The endless space and the nearby void was all gathered here, gradually squeezing into a sword ray. This sword ray fell down along Kai Mi's brows. Kai Mi had long seen the power of this strike. Kai Mi smashed out the blood spear. Crack. The nearby space was ravaged again like a volcanic eruption. The ground turned to oblivion. Huge rinks appeared between Yi Mo and Kai Mi. The earth shattered and stretched out into tens of miles. Kai Mi was hacked tens of kilometers away by this strike and a gash appeared between his brows with blood dripping down. Yi Mo didn't retreat much, but he sighed. His immortal essence and spirit sense was extremely deprived due to using Void 9 times. He only released the look of crevice but the actual force of it. Otherwise, Kai Mi would be heavily injured from that strike. Kai Mi seemed to be hacked away that long, but most of it was intentional. As soon as Kai Mi stopped, the gash had recovered and the blood spear swirled in the void again. Yi Mo's face was cold. He didn't know if Kai Mi could use Blood River 9 Falls again, but if Kai Mi did, he wouldn't be able to use 9 Voids again. But he believed Kai Mi wasn't that strong. You indeed have some fortune, you actually reached immortal god body here. Kai Mi didn't attack Yi Mo again and instead said coldly. Seeing Yi Mo not talk, he said again, but no matter what, don't think of escaping from me today. Then, the blood spear turned into blood shadows in the void. Blood River. Yi Mo's heart sunk. He didn't expect Kai Mi to really be able to use Blood River 9 Falls again. If Kai Mi used it again, he wouldn't be able to escape at all. His only opportunity would be now, but Yi Mo didn't want to do that. He suspected that Kai Mi was bluffing. Kai Mi was at most immortal king middle stage now, or maybe tertiary stage. How could an immortal king tertiary stage use a god art like Blood River 9 Falls twice? Yi Mo clutched Zishu tightly and stared coldly at Kai Mi. He didn't believe Kai Mi could use it another time. If Kai Mi really could, then he would run immediately. The 3 big blood rivers hung in the air but didn't fall. Yi Mo breathed easy. Kai Mi could only use 3 rivers. But Yi Mo didn't attack Kai Mi. Kai Mi didn't attack him either. Clearly both of them felt someone was coming over. Yi Mo recognized it was Yang Jiutian. I can encounter you everywhere. Yang Jiutian sneered and released his mist line without hesitation. The region it dominated was no smaller than the Blood River. Yang Wudao, you should join up with me to kill this Kai Mi. He came to rob my time formation disk. If you kill me, you would be no match for him. He's a divine emperor. Yi Mo said. Kai Mi. You're Kai Mi, divine emperor? Yang Jiutian wasn't clueless like Yi Mo and immediately called out in shock. Kai Mi said coldly, it seems I still have some fame left. I thought after all these years, even some cats and dogs don't take me seriously. Then Kai Mi looked at Yi Mo with contempt. In his eyes, Yi Mo was an insect. In order to increase his power these years, he forced it and it wasn't beneficial for him fusing with the body. However, He fought a big battle before fighting Yimo, making him unable to use Blood River Nine Falls twice. Otherwise, Yimo was dead for sure. Yimo's heart wasn't calm at all. Now that Yang Jotian confirmed Kai Mi was Divine Emperor, it was clear that Kai Mi was an essence spirit body due to fighting Truth Divine Emperor. Truth Divine Emperor was able to kill that many people while being ganged up on. Just how strong was he? He only knew Truth Divine Emperor was very strong before, but after seeing Kai Mi, he realized just to what extent Truth Divine Emperor was powerful. Kai Mi was about the same cultivation level as him but wasn't scared of him at all. That Truth Divine Emperor killed a few of the Divine Emperors joined up with Kai Mi, just how scary Truth Divine Emperor was. Chimpage. Yang Jotian's mist line already attacked towards Yimo. Yimo knew things couldn't end well today. If it was just Kai Mi, Yimo would be confident in killing him, but now with Yang Jotian, Yimo decided to leave first. As soon as Yang Jotian's Immortal King Domain reached out, Yimo's Immortal King Domain and Spirit Sense blades hacked out. There was an indistinguishable crack and Yimo's figure disappeared. Yang Jotian's mist net clearly attacked at Yimo, but when it instantly fell towards Kai Mi. This wasn't the first time he fought Yimo. He knew that even if he attacked with full power, he wouldn't be able to kill Yimo nor keep him. But he knew this Kai Mi well. He was an ancient divine emperor and now possessed another body and knew Yimo had time formation disc. He had to kill one today. He couldn't kill the cunning Yimo, but he could try to ambush this Kai Mi. Even just the secrets of a divine emperor was enough for him to attack. Rumble, rumble, rumble. As the three blood rivers fell, Yang Jotian's mist net clashed with it. Yang Jotian's mist net was instantly bound by the blood rivers. Kai Mi thought the same as Yang Jotian. He knew Yimo just as well. Although he was contemptuous at Yimo, he knew Yimo's capabilities clearly. Now that Yang Jotian knew about the time formation disc too, and he seemed to have quite a lot of good things, killing Yang Jotian first was the same for Kai Mi. It was because the two had the exact same idea that their magic artifacts clashed. Just with that clash, Kai Mi realized that this Yang Jotian was not much weaker than Yimo. He definitely couldn't kill Yang Jotian in his current state. Realizing this, Kai Mi didn't want to fight at all. The blood spear twisted and the blood rivers exploded. Meanwhile, Kai Mi's figure dimmed instantly. Yang Jotian's mist net instantly turned into a fine mist spear and pierced that dimming figure, drawing out blood. After leaving that blood, Kai Mi disappeared like Yimo. Seeing this, Yang Jotian felt regretful. If Kai Mi left a second later, he would have been able to keep him. Seeing this, Yang Jotian felt regretful. If Kai Mi left a second later, he would have been able to keep him. Yimo and Kai Mi left, the few hundred star beasts surrounded over immediately. They were scared of Yimo and Kai Mi, but not this newly arrived Yang Jotian. Yang Jotian was very annoyed that he got nothing out of this, and now that these star beasts surrounded him, he didn't hold back. His mist lines turned into countless mist rays that accurately pierced these star beasts. These powerful star beasts were defenseless against the mist rays. They were slaughtered and soon, the remaining star beasts fled. They were different from when Yimo just came in. When Yimo first came in, no matter how many died, they would keep attacking Yimo. But now, they are scared. Seeing someone could instantly kill them, they grew smart and immediately retreated. Even if Yimo saw Yang Jotian here, he would compliment him. Yang Jotian knew the weak spots of star beasts very well. These mist rays struck the weak spots of the star beasts immediately. At the same time, Yimo instant transmissioned into the star beast crowds. However, the star beasts immediately recognized Yimo and moved away. "Boss, what do we do now? Should we follow one of them?" Shadowless had recovered from his injuries and asked. "My cultivation level is a little stronger than Kai Mi, but I can't kill him for certain. Kai Mi, that old bastard, grew strong this quickly. If he could use his blood river 9 falls consecutively, even if I can get away, I would lose a layer of skin." Yimo shook his head. Shadowless suddenly said, "Boss, although I devoured Kai Mi only for a short time, I felt that this guy's immortal essence was used before. He was even lightly injured. I'm certain it's not due to the fight with us. Perhaps he fought with someone before. Are you certain? Yemo's face went serious again. It's true. Shadowless nodded affirmatively. If Shadowless was right, then his cultivation level wasn't a little stronger than Kai Mi but much weaker. This meant that if Kai Mi encountered him before the fight, Kai Mi would be able to use Blood River Nine Falls twice. With that, he might even die. Boss, I feel that Kai Mi grew stronger this fast must be because he found something better than those body refinement rivers. Shadowless guessed. Yemo knew that Kai Mi found a huge fortune in here. That old bastard is experienced. Perhaps he already knew there were good things in here, so he went for that straight away. Only we were dumb enough to fight with our lives. Shadowless ranted unhappily. Shadowless' words struck Yemo. Kai Mi was once a divine emperor, his experience must be bountiful. But so was Yang Jiutian, he was a half-divine emperor. Yang Jiutian left that immortal city probably to come find resources here. Thinking about this, Yemo immediately called out Small Ginseng and told him his idea. Small Ginseng quickly patted his chest and said, "Boss, don't worry, we'll follow him. If I sense any immortal spirit item Kai, we can find it ourselves." "Okay, let's do this," Yemo immediately said. With Small Ginseng's help, Yemo soon found Yang Jiutian's tracks. Yemo didn't need to use his spirit sense to lock onto Yang Jiutian to follow him, Small Ginseng would remind him. But even so, after 3 days, Yang Jiutian noticed something wasn't right. He even stopped and used his spirit sense to search around. However, in this bluish-gray space, his spirit sense really couldn't search much. On the 4th day, Small Ginseng immediately told Yemo, "Boss, I felt an extremely dense chaos Kai. Even without that Yang, we can find it." "Okay." Yemo instantly sped up and charged at Yemo. Yemo knew that under such circumstances, it was impossible to ambush Yang Jiutian. As soon as Yemo appeared, Yang Jiutian saw it and waved out his mist line. Tens of thousands of mist arrows shot and crushed the void, squeezing all the nearby space. Yemo didn't release Zishu at all but instead punched out 9 times. 9 voids, 9 space lethal force whirlpool instantly formed. When Yemo completely released these 9 punches, the 9 void drags released a huge rumbling sound. Crack! Yang Jiutian's mist arrows were swept into the whirlpools and made explosions. After tearing some mist arrows, the 9 whirlpools gradually gathered together, creating an even louder rumbling sound. A terrifying huge whirlpool formed between Yemo and Yang Jiutian. Seeing this, Yang Jiutian's face changed immediately. He immediately took away his mist line and disappeared. Yemo didn't chase Yang Jiutian. He knew that he might not be able to catch up to Yang Jiutian. Yemo's face was pale but he was very excited. Ever since knowing that Kai Mi could use Blood River Nine Falls, Yemo had constantly been thinking about how to counter that move. Compared to Yang Jiutian, Yemo wanted to kill Kai Mi more. So during these few days, he had been thinking about how to fuse his 9 voids together into a new fist god art. Using this battle with Yang Jiutian, he finally created the form of his new god art. Yang Jiutian was very cunning. He knew that Yemo was testing a new god art on him. If he kept fighting Yemo, it would be helping Yemo and he might get injured. How could Yang Jiutian do such a dumb thing? So after noticing this, he left immediately. Yemo was still in the enlightenment of the new fist god art and couldn't care about Yang Jiutian leaving. After the 9 voids fused together, it completely annihilated this region of space. Rumbling sounds went on non-stop. The nearby space rattled. Yemo knew that this punch really devoured space and used space lore into it. There was a fundamental difference between this and Void. Void couldn't stop Blood River Nine Falls, but this punch could stop it. If he could use it more than once, he could even ambush Kai Mi and tear him to pieces after blocking one Blood River Nine Falls. Thud! Yemo put away the fist force and the whirlpool in the void exploded and soon dissipating. Boss, such a powerful punch. Shadowless immediately came to suck up. Yemo's face was a bit pale and shook his head. This punch is indeed much stronger than the 9 voids I used fighting Kai Mi, but I can only barely use this punch once. If I can't use 2, I would be no match for Kai Mi. Boss, what this punch called? Shadowless and small ginseng looked expectantly at Yimo. Boss, what this punch called? Shadowless and small ginseng looked expectantly at Yimo. Yimo thought for a moment and said space shatter. He had crevice and now space shatter. It sounded very good. Small ginseng, lead the way, we'll go look for good things. When boss has mastered space shatter, we'll go find that old Kai Mi bastard. If I don't eat this guy, I don't feel satisfied. Shadowless waved his hand. Small ginseng was unhappy being ordered, but he couldn't argue and led the way. Half a day later, the three came to a place where the blue color was deeper than other places. But coming here, Yimo immediately felt a sliver of Chaos Kai. This Kai was similar to the Chaos Kai in his Golden Page world but not completely the same. Coming in here, Yimo's spirit sense was unrestricted. This was a dried-up swamp. At the end of the swamp, there were three big nest-like things. Because the swamp was dry, this place looked barren and wilder. The swamp was lifeless, but due to these three big nests, there was a sliver of life here. Boss, this is Chaos Nest. Small ginseng immediately said. What is Chaos Nest? Yimo asked in confusion. Small ginseng pointed at the three nests and said Chaos Nests are brought over when a realm is born. It usually has a sliver of law Kai. The blue-grayish dimension here is filled with power law, so these Chaos Nests must have power law Kai power law? Yimo immediately came up to the Chaos Nest and grabbed. A faint primal law feeling rose up into his head. Yimo only had the time to say to Small Ginseng and Shadowless, take one each. I'm going to cultivate now. Shadowless, keep an eye on Yang Jotian. Shadowless was waiting for this. Yimo immediately started learning the power law while Shadowless moved a chaos net into the Golden Page world. Small Ginseng saw this and did the same. However, Small Ginseng looked strangely at Shadowless and asked him, why didn't you open your mouth this time? That's strange. Shadowless smiled. I feel this chaos net is definitely enough for me to reach Immortal Tao. As long as I reach Immortal Tao, I can eat that Kai Mi old bastard in one mouth. His blood river would be nothing. However, I would have to wait till boss is done, otherwise, can your little arms stop Yang Jotian? Hearing this, Small Ginseng could only shut up. Yimo was completely immersed in learning power law. This chaos net not only refined his immortal essence and spirit sense but also allowed him to understand his god art and power law more. He kept using space shatter through the chaos net and there was no longer a place to stay around him. Small Ginseng and Shadowless could only keep retreating to free up space for Yimo to practice. Rumbling sounds went non-stop. Terrifying immortal essence Kai swept out, instantly creating a huge ravine in this canopy. The power law and chaos Kai of the chaos net were constantly being stripped away by Yimo. Meanwhile, the height of the chaos net kept dropping, but Yimo's space shatter was more and more refined. Time passed rapidly, while Shadowless and Small Ginseng could only go around this boring space. When Yang Jotian found this blue region, he immediately knew Yimo went inside first. He cursed. He knew his cultivation level was a bit higher than Yimo, but his battle power was weaker than Yimo. He felt very annoyed. He was a half-divine and begun cultivation again, but he wasn't as strong as an ordinary guy. He could only attribute that to the time formation disc. If Yimo didn't have the time formation disc, he would definitely be no match for him. Rumble. With three rumbling sounds that was like planets smashing down. In the distance, Small Ginseng and Shadowless looked at the crevices appearing in front of Yimo with mouths wide open in shock. They knew that this was Yimo's fist tearing the void, creating the tear. Although this tear disappeared in an instant and was far from tearing opening the void, Yimo was only an immortal king. This terrifying power was unimaginable. The ground near Yimo was instantly torn by these three fists. The ground seemed to have rolled backwards. But after the three punches finished, Yimo waved his hand and the flying ground fell back down. Crack. The huge chaos net behind Yimo turned to dust and disappeared. Sigh. Yimo let out a long breath. This chaos net was indeed a good thing. He used one, and not only did he perfect his god art, but he could use 3 space shatters in a row. Even after that, his immortal essence and spirit sense wasn't that deprived. Before, he thought that if he could use 2 shatters, he wouldn't be scared of the Blood River 9 Falls being used twice, but now that he can use 3, Kai Mi would be dead for sure. Yi Mo saw the line like tears in the space. He knew that with the toughness of space here, even Immortal Emperor wouldn't be able to tear it open. Just because he created lines, it didn't mean he could tear it open. It was just the burst of him perfecting his god art and the chaos net. If he used that move again, he might not be able to create space tears. However, he was very happy. He was only an immortal king middle stage after all. Boss, so strong. Shadowless and Small Ginseng came over and congratulated immediately. I still have a chaos tree, should I take it out for boss to cultivate? Small Ginseng immediately said. Seeing this, Shadowless was a little reluctant but could only say boss, I have one too. Yi Mo waved his hand. I only need one, I've learned the power law, even if I get more, I wouldn't progress much. Plus my god art is perfected, I don't need to waste these things. Then, Yi Mo looked at Shadowless and said, Shadowless, can that chaos net let you reach Immortal Dao? If it can't, then save it, don't waste it. Shadowless quickly flapped his wings and said, Boss, don't worry, after eating this chaos net, I can definitely reach Immortal Dao. I promise. Then, Shadowless charged into the Golden Page world. He was scared of Golden Page world causing trouble, so he immediately went in and ate the chaos net before sitting beside the bitter bamboo. How long have I been cultivating here for? Yi Mo asked Small Ginseng. It's been 4 months. Small Ginseng quickly said. Yi Mo frowned and said, go into the Golden Page world first, I need to go that immortal city. If Kai Mi this old bastard gets away, it would be no good. Yi Mo didn't know that not long after he left, the space where he was started to crack. Outside the whirlpool, the immortal emperors and immortal monarchs looked at it in shock. The 20,000 people had gone in for a few months, but the entrance slowly calmed down instead of disappearing. Brother Feng Kong, I feel the law suppression seems to be disappearing. Perhaps the other people who have controlled a law can enter too. Blood River Grand Emperor said. I noticed it too. Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor and a few other immortal emperors said. The immortal emperors glanced at each other and nodded before charging inside without hesitation. The remaining immortal monarchs saw this and all went in. Only a few people remained outside. I killed your people, so what? That Ding Jie guy stay here, the rest of you piss off. Yang Zhoutian stared coldly at more than 10 immortal king and yelled. Below his feet were 2 corpses. Ding Jie's face was very bad. He just fought Yang Zhoutian a few years ago, but in such a short time, he was completely outmatched. Yang Zhoutian, how arrogant you are. You dare to insult Madman Ding, I'm going to kill you first. Yi Mo's voice sounded. Hearing this, Ding Jie laughed. Yi Mo, I knew that in such a busy place you would be here. Ha ha. Hearing this voice, Yang Zhoutian's face went really bad. He didn't need to look to know Yi Mo was here. Yi Mo took the thing he wanted and clearly, his power increased a lot. He was no match for him before, now was even worse. Hearing this voice, Yang Zhoutian's face went really bad. He didn't need to look to know Yi Mo was here. Yi Mo took the thing he wanted and clearly, his power increased a lot. He was no match for him before, now was even worse. Other than Ding Jie, the rest of the people looked at Yi Mo in shock. Although Yang Zhoutian came in here with them, no one expected him to be this powerful. They were trapped by countless star beasts before, but when Yang Zhoutian came, he just used a few simple god arts and those star beasts ran away. 2 immortal kings were killed on the spot just for being slightly rude to Yang Zhoutian. No one dared to say no when Yang Zhoutian said Ding Jie had to stay. Who was this person who just came? He spoke to Yang Zhoutian in such tone, but Yang Zhoutian wasn't angry. Everyone looked at Yi Mo. In fact, Yi Mo just carried a simple sword on his back. This sword had a sheath too. He didn't look like an immortal king at all, more like a mortal from the lower realms. Yi Mo, I was wanting to go find you after leaving here. I didn't expect you were here too. This is great. You don't know how cocky this guy is. I really can't beat him now. Ding Jie said. Yi Mo patted his shoulder and said, this guy is immortal king tertiary stage, he hid his power. You can't beat him now, but that doesn't mean you can't beat him when you're immortal king tertiary stage. Hearing this, Yang Zhoutian was shocked. He didn't expect Yimo to be able to see through him hiding his power. Meanwhile, he couldn't see what Yimo's power level was. This guy is too shameless. Yimo, teach him a lesson, I'll cheer you on. Ding Jie rolled up his sleeves and said. Yimo knew that Yang Zhoutian was good at running and it was completely impossible to kill him, but he didn't feel good without teaching Yang Zhoutian a lesson. Just when Yimo was about to release Zishu, Yang Zhoutian suddenly sound transmission. Yimo, I'm no match for you, I admit, but it's impossible for you to kill me. If you want to fight, then I can fight with you, but when Kai Mi comes, I will join up with him. Can you beat the two of us? Yimo frowned. He knew what Yang Zhoutian said was true. Yang Zhoutian's escape abilities were much stronger than him. Seeing this, Yang Zhoutian said again, Yimo, I know you have an immortal sect, but I never caused trouble there. If you have the balls, we'll fight when we're both immortal emperor. Normally, you can't kill me nor can I kill you. No matter how we fight, it would be a waste of immortal essence. Plus, you know that I would definitely do it personally if I was to kill you. I wouldn't spill your secret like an idiot. I believe you think the same. Yang Zhoutian wasn't that noble, of course. He didn't go to Low Heaven Domain because he didn't have time. Plus, he didn't even consider Mo Yu immortal sect a threat. Plus, Yang Zhoutian believed that if he reached immortal emperor, then no matter how insane Yimo was, he could kill Yimo. He had a few powerful god arts that could only be cultivated in immortal emperor state. If it was outside, then Yang Zhoutian would say this, but this bluish-grey dimension was small and the star beasts here seemed to be able to communicate. It wouldn't be hard for Yimo to find him. Yimo didn't really care waiting till immortal emperor to fight Yang Zhoutian. He knew that since Yang Zhoutian said this, he was relying on something, but even so, Yimo wasn't scared. Yimo, just teach this Yang bastard a lesson. I'll stop this guy, we can't let this guy get away. Ding Jie laughed. Yimo waved his hand and said to Yang Zhoutian, piss off, I don't want to kill you now. Yang Zhoutian's face was green, but he could only go and soon disappeared. Yimo, why not kill him? Ding Jie looked at Yimo with confusion. Because someone I want to kill more has come. Then Yimo stared at an empty space ahead. Soon, a grey-robed person appeared. It was clearly Kai Mi. Yimo felt this guy seemed even more stronger than a few months ago. This time, Kai Mi didn't draw Yimo away and just said coldly, I knew you would take those chaos nests, you idiot. Die. Then, Kai Mi released Blood Spear and Blood River 9 Falls. The violent and foul stench spread out. The terrifying Immortal King domain spread out like crazy. Ding Jie and the other Immortal Kings could only retreat and instantly left where Yimo and Kai Mi were. The space rattled heavily with the release of the Blood Spear. Yimo felt it was okay, but the nearby Immortal Kings looked at the void in shock. This power was like the sky falling. Was this even a battle between Immortal King? Even a battle between Immortal Monarch was only like this. The 9 blood rivers swept down from the sky. Even at tens of kilometers away, the Immortal Kings felt it was hard to breathe. There was shock in Ding Jie's eyes. He thought he was at the peak of Immortal King. But he couldn't beat Yang Zhoutian. That was alright, as Yang Zhoutian was Immortal King tertiary stage. But now, he thought he couldn't beat Yimo's enemy Kai Mi. This guy was even stronger than Yang Zhoutian. This Kai Mi seemed to only be Immortal King primary stage. No matter if he hid his power or not, he was definitely an Immortal King. As the 9 rivers fell, the bluish-grey dimension turned blood red. The revolting smell completely sealed this space shut. Yimo didn't move at all. He was waiting for Kai Mi to use this. If Kai Mi didn't use Blood River 9 Falls, it wouldn't be easy for him to kill Kai Mi in his own way. Kai Mi was once a divine emperor, who knows what means he hasn't used yet. The nearby people could only see 9 blood rivers covering the heavens and sweeping at Yimo. Yimo never thought of running away. The moment Kai Mi used it, Yimo used his space shatter. Explosions sounded amidst the blood river. Soon, the immortals saw void runes forming outside the blood river and then gathering together before sweeping up the nearby void lethal force, forming an invisible lethal force whirlpool. What fist god art is this? The nearby Immortal Kings looked at Space Shatter in shock. Seeing this, Kai Mi frowned. As a past divine emperor, His vision was countless times better than others. Yemo's space shatter was completely different to Void before. This time, Yemo just used one punch, but its power was much greater than the 9 punches together. This meant that Yemo fused the 9 punches into a new god art. Kai Mi was shocked. If he didn't kill Yemo today, there would be endless trouble. In a few months, he fused a new god art. If he didn't kill Yemo while he wasn't strong, then it would be thousands of times harder later. Rumble. The lethal force whirlpool exploded in the blood river and the 9 blood rivers exploded. The ground and the void was a complete mess. Kai Mi sneered, the blood spear shrieked in the air, and before they completely disappeared, another 9 blood rivers fell along with Kai Mi's frigid voice. The Emperor shall see if you can take a second blood river 9 fall. The second blood river 9 falls smashed down, space erupted. Even 100 kilometers away, the onlooking immortal kings found it hard to breathe. The second blood river 9 falls smashed down, space erupted. Even 100 kilometers away, the onlooking immortal kings found it hard to breathe. Such terrifying god art, used consecutively, was too powerful for any of them to stop alone. Yemo was just an immortal king. Could he stop the second blood river 9 falls? Even Ding Jie looked at Yemo with a worry. He admired Yemo the most, but he wasn't sure if Yemo could stop this. After punching out the first space shatter, Yemo's face only went a little paler. Now that the second blood river 9 falls came, he instead took a step in and punched again. After this punch, the nearby space switched. The void and lethal force moved by the blood river 9 falls turned into fist runes. Yemo's punch carried 9 lethal force whirlpools and smashed towards the blood river 9 falls. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The two clashed head-on and 9 heavenly shocking explosions sounded. Blood splashed everywhere and immortal essence dispersed. The nearby space started to rattle heavily. Waves of immortal essence and spirit sense space waves were clearly visible. Everyone took in a cold breath. The first time they clashed, no one saw how Yemo countered the blood river 9 falls, but this time, everyone saw clearly. Yemo used his fist god art to smash the blood river 9 falls head-on. Yemo's fist god art was formed by many lethal force whirlpools that could also divide into 9 or even more. Yemo could use his fist to break Kai Mi's blood river, meaning that his body was powerful to a new extreme. This couldn't be done with just god art. In the immortal realm, those using fist god arts were pretty much all body refinement cultivators. Some experienced people realized why Yemo delayed using his first punch. It was to bait Kai Mi to use the second blood river 9 falls. Kai Mi realized this too. His heart was shook. He completely didn't expect Yemo to be able to progress this much in a few months. Yemo used 9 punches to stop his blood river 9 falls, and afterwards, his immortal essence and spirit sense was used by more than 90%. But today, Yemo not only fused the 9 punches into a new fist god art but could use it twice. No wonder you dare to stay here to wait for me. It's because you found a way to counter my blood river 9 falls. Kai Mi sneered and suddenly howled, spitting out blood river 9 falls. The third blood river 9 falls struck down. The terrifying blood river Kai emanated. The nearby space had been ravaged by 3 blood river 9 falls, and finally marks started to appear that could be seen by the naked eye. Yemo's face changed. He guessed that Kai Mi would be able to use blood river 9 falls twice, but he didn't expect 3 times. Seeing Yemo's face change, Kai Mi laughed. His complexion wasn't normal, clearly due to using blood river 9 falls for the 3rd time. You would never know what my next move is, and you would never guess where my real power is at. So today, you can only die here. Blood river, attack. Even if he was to be heavily injured, he would kill Yemo today. He didn't believe Yemo would be able to stop his blood river 9 falls a 3rd time. When the 3rd blood river fell, his immortal king domain and blood spear had fused into the strongest immortal king domain. This domain completely sealed off Yemo's exit. Yemo wasn't going to run, he never thought of it. He didn't move at all, and then suddenly, punched out again. Space shatter. Space shatter. It had to shatter space to be called space shatter. Yemo's space shatter couldn't shatter the space here, but it could shatter Kai Mi's blood river 9 falls. This punch smashed out The fist force swept the nearby few hundred-kilometer lethal force rushed, and the fist force was like rolling ocean. The third space shatter was stronger than the first and second one. Seeing this, Kai Mi's face changed drastically. He completely didn't expect Yi Mo to improve this much in a mere 4 months. It was already crazy enough that he could use Blood River 9 Falls one extra time during this time. Even if Yi Mo got the Chaos Nest, he shouldn't be able to use 3 of such terrifying fist god art consecutively. He didn't know that Yi Mo cultivated the 3-birth chant. It was the most suitable thing for deriving everything. Once the space shatter god art was derived, it was a new god art. This new god art didn't require immortal essence and spirit sense used for 9 voids. It used even less. Rumble. Terrifying Kai and explosions rustled about. The outside immortal kings could only see waves of lethal force whirlpool and layers of blood mist entwining. With the third Blood River 9 Falls being smashed away, Kai Mi immediately felt the backlash. He was already at his wit's end after using 3 Blood River 9 Falls. If he knew Yi Mo could stop his 3 Blood River 9 Falls, he would never fight Yi Mo in this way. Kai Mi knew he had lost, completely. Kai Mi didn't even care about his blood spear anymore. He burned his immortal essence and life like crazy. He had to get away as quickly as possible. If he was in essence spirit form, it would be better, but Lu Zhengquan's body confined him greatly. But Yi Mo wasn't going to give him the chance. Lightning crossed in the sky, instantly forming a lightning spear containing endless killing intent. Kai Mi's immortal king domain instantly shattered and the blood spear was about to fall. Kai Mi knew lightning sand and just barely moved his body. Splurge. The lightning spear passed through Kai Mi, sending him into the not yet dissipated fist whirlpool. Kai Mi's body was instantly obliterated. Yi Mo stood in this blood, but his face was very bleak. A divine emperor wasn't so easy to kill indeed. Even though he crippled Kai Mi's body, his essence spirit still got away. Not only this, he didn't even see the red spear. The divine emperor essence spirit was terrifyingly refined. It could get away in that terrifying lethal force whirlpool, and Yi Mo didn't even know how it got away. The only thing that Yi Mo felt assured about was that for Kai Mi's essence spirit to reach immortal king level again, it would require a few hundred to 1,000 years, and this was if he could find a suitable body. Otherwise, it would take longer. Of course, if he encountered some insane fortune, it would be hard to say. Haha, Yi Mo, you're strong indeed. Even such a powerful guy was slaughtered by you with only essence spirit running away. Ding Jie was the first to congratulate Yi Mo. The nearby immortal kings surrounded over. An extremely beautiful female immortal walked up softly to Yi Mo and bowed. Hua Yushue, thank Martial Brother Yi for saving my life, Yushue. She had a faint aroma on her body that would render men with a throbbing and good feeling. Yi Mo had his instincts and didn't have a good impression of this female immortal, so he nodded. No need to thank me, I didn't come just to save you. He, she's from Demon Joy sect, I'm certain that she came to seduce you. If you hint a little, you guys can jump in bed immediately. Ding Jie sound transmissioned. Yi Mo thought of another woman, she was from Demon Joy sect too, called Hua Rushue. Clearly these two were related. Thinking about this, Yi Mo sneered. Demon Joy sect really ruined the name Shui. TL note, Shui means snow. He even killed Demon Joy sect immortal king, how could he suck up to Demon Joy sect? Hearing this, Hua Yushue's face changed immediately. But before she spoke, Yi Mo dashed among the immortal kings and grabbed a pink-dressed female immortal, asking very nervously, what did you say? Say it again. Yi Mo, she's from Wujia Sound River, it's the #1 sect of Yu Heaven. Wu Hua immortal emperor Sang-Chi never comes out, but his power is no weaker than Feng Kong Grand Emperor, he's even at the level of half-divine. The second immortal emperor, Wu Yin immortal emperor Nuan Shuyu, is immortal emperor peak 2. No one dares to mess with them. It's said Wujia Sound River has 4 immortal emperors and more than 10 immortal monarchs, don't mess with her. Yi Mo, she's from Wujia Sound River, it's the #1 sect of Yu Heaven. Wu Hua immortal emperor Sang-Chi never comes out, but his power is no weaker than Feng Kong Grand Emperor, he's even at the level of half-divine. The second immortal emperor, Wu Yin immortal emperor Nuan Shuyu, is immortal emperor peak 2. No one dares to mess with them. It said Wujia Sound River has 4 immortal emperors and more than 10 immortal monarchs, don't mess with her. Seeing Yi Mo grab this pink-dressed female immortal, Ding Jie Sound transmissioned to Yi Mo, fearing Yi Mo would do something inappropriate. Even his sect couldn't mess with Wujia Sound River. The top sects of Immortal Realm all have 3 immortal emperor, but Wujia Sound River has 4. Wujia Sound River was very dominant and protective. If their sect members was abused, they would definitely hunt the abuser. Yi Mo didn't seem to hear what Ding Jie said and kept staying coldly at the red-robed female immortal, saying, "Say it again, what did you just say?" After her initial worry, she gradually calmed down. "Let me go first." The immortal king's face burst red and yelled. Yi Mo felt he was doing wrong and quickly let go, but he didn't have the time to apologize. He just stared at her and said, "I just said you look a bit like the image carried on Xiaoyun's jade card. I didn't offend you. What right did you have to attack me?" Yi Mo was dumbfounded. He just kept murmuring Xiaoyun. Mu Xiaoyun went missing in the small world, and he went to the small world many times but couldn't find her. Now that he heard Xiaoyun's name again, especially how she carried an image of him, how could he not be excited? "Show me Xiaoyun's image, tell me where she is," Yi Mo asked desperately. Seeing Yi Mo didn't have the intention to apologize, the female immortal could only say 10 years ago, Wuyin martial ancestor brought Xiaoyun back. "I've seen her once because martial sister Peng and I arranged her residence. I only asked martial sister Peng because I saw you. However, we never saw Xiaoyun after that. At the time, Xiaoyun carried a jade card and inside was your image. Her surname is Mu, right?" Yi Mo asked loudly, completely forgetting the tone of his voice. The female immortal subconsciously frowned but still nodded yes. "She's called Mu Xiaoyun, this is her image." Then, the female immortal took out a crystal ball and casually printed an image inside. Yi Mo grabbed the crystal ball immediately and murmured, "It's Xiaoyun indeed, it really is her." Now, everyone realized that this Mu Xiaoyun was probably someone Yi Mo knew. However, she appeared at Wujia Sound River. How is she now? Is she Wuyin Qianbei's disciple? Yi Mo put away the crystal ball and asked shakily. Wuyin was an immortal emperor. If Xiaoyun was her disciple, she would be doing well. The female immortal shook her head. "I'm not sure because I never saw her again. Martial ancestor Wuyin never took her to some gathering or public events." Yi Mo frowned. Xiaoyun might not be Wuyin immortal emperor's disciple. If a master liked his disciple, he would take the disciple to all sorts of public events. Another thing that made Yi Mo more confused was that Xiaoyun's talent was very bad, just a little bit better than him. Even if she cultivated primordial chaos chant, she shouldn't be able to ascend in such a short time. If Xiaoyun didn't ascend on her own, then she was brought over by Wuyin from another realm, or she had some great fortune. But even if she did, how could she keep it if Wuyin immortal emperor knew about it? "When you saw Xiaoyun, what was her cultivation level?" Yi Mo asked. The female immortal dazed and said it seemed to be truth realization state. "I didn't really care. How could an immortal king care about an ordinary immortal ascension disciple?" "Yi Mo, you know this Mu Xiaoyun?" Ding Jie looked at Yi Mo and asked. Yi Mo nodded. "That's right. Ding Jie, how did you guys come in here? Can you go out? I'm going to go find Xiaoyun." Yi Mo worried that Xiaoyun might not have much status in Wuyin Sound River. No one would care if her immortal ascension disciple died in such a big sect. Ding Jie shook his head. "Probably not. When we came in, those immortal emperors aid that even if you want to go out it would be 12 years later." As soon as Ding Jie said this, a red flying sword landed. Ding Jie grabbed it and immediately said, "Enjoy." Saint Yi said, "Immortal emperors have come in. They're at Star Defense Immortal City, let's hurry over and see. I'm bored of this place already." Hearing this, the rest of the people rejoiced and the immortal kings quickly left. 10,000 great eternity immortal and immortal king gathered outside the city. Yi Mo came here and immediately saw more than 10 immortal emperor. Their force was overwhelming. Yi Mo took in a cold breath and carefully controlled his Kai. If it was immortal monarch, he wouldn't really care, but against an immortal emperor, Yi Mo didn't have any confidence. He was probably no match for even the weakest immortal emperor. A long-bearded handsome man stood in the air and said to the rest of the people, "We originally guessed this was the entrance to the Chaos Star realm, but instead it's the dimension where star beasts live. It seems some problem occurred here and it's now connected to another realm. The exit has appeared, everyone can go back from where they came from. Those who want to can come with us to the other realm." Yimo knew this person. It was Wei Yifeng, Immortal Emperor. Wu Shuang, Immortal Emperor, was killed by this guy. Then, Wei Yifeng, Immortal Emperor, left in a dashing light. The rest of the Immortal Emperors didn't even say anything and left. Yimo didn't know where the other realm appeared, but he wasn't interested at all. He suddenly thought of one thing and said to Ding Jie, "Did that Wuyin Immortal Emperor come?" "She did, she was among the people who left." Ding Jie quickly sound transmissioned. "Wuyin Immortal Emperor Master, please wait." Yimo quickly called and was about to chase up. Mu Xiaoyun was taken back by her. Even if Wuyin was a divine emperor, he would go up and ask. But she was too fast and had already disappeared. "How dare you, a mere immortal king dares to stop Wuyin, martial ancestor. Do you not want to live?" A black-faced man sneered and blocked Yimo's path. This was an immortal monarch middle stage. Yimo stopped, he knew he wouldn't be able to catch up. "Martial Uncle Ji Shui," he said he had a friend at Wujia Sound River. He probably wanted to ask about this friend from Wuyin martial ancestor. The pink-dressed female immortal explained. Yimo said heavily, "That's right, Wuyin Qianbei's disciple is my friend. So I want to ask her if my friend is at Wujia Sound River." Ji Shui Immortal Monarch sneered and looked at Yimo in contempt. "Wuyin martial ancestor wouldn't take anyone in for disciple. Are you dreaming? From what I know, martial ancestor Wuyin never had a disciple, you don't need to ask." Yimo's eyes went cold and looked at the female immortal. "What's going on? You said Xiaoyun was brought to Wujia Sound River by Wuyin Qianbei." The female immortal was lost for words. She was scared of Yimo from the bottom of her heart. Now that Yimo asked, she could only say, "I don't know if Xiaoyun is martial ancestor Wuin's disciple, I've only seen her once." Hearing this, Yimo was very worried. What good thing could an immortal emperor old monster do to an immortal ascension cultivator if it wasn't to take her in as disciple? "You're asking to die." The immortal monarch saw Yimo's tone was getting rude and became furious. Yimo didn't have the mood to care which sect he was from. He hacked out Zishu and a 1 kilometer long purple sword ray extended out. The rest of the immortals felt like that Yimo's sword had grabbed the nearby tens of kilometers of space together. The rest of the immortals felt like that Yimo's sword had grabbed the nearby tens of kilometers of space together. Looking at the force with which Yimo and the immortal monarch attacked, everyone even thought that Yimo was an immortal monarch and this Wujia Sound River immortal monarch was an immortal king. Ding Jie's eyes shot out gleams, he didn't even blink as he watched Yimo's strike. He had seen this strike. He was there when Yimo learned this strike at the title status tower. This strike carried a blade that had this destructive kai that would tear apart everything. It seemed even more terrifying than Yimo's 3 space shatters. The nearby immortals immediately retreated after feeling the destructive kai from Yimo's strike. The feeling that Yimo's strike gave everyone was that if they retreated a little bit slower, they would be swept in by the strike and annihilated. Those immortal kings who saw Yimo fight with Kai Mi just realized that Yimo didn't even use his magic artifact while fighting Kai Mi. This was their first time seeing Yimo's magic artifact. It was an extremely ugly purple sword. When Yimo used Crevice, Ji Shui Immortal Monarch's face changed immediately. His green long sword with the green sword veil instantly separated under this strike and dissipated. His Immortal Monarch domain wasn't actually weaker than Yimo's Immortal King domain. It completely crippled under the destructive kai of this strike. Crack crack. The sound spread out. Yimo's rune seemed to be about to tear open the void and strike down from this Immortal Monarch's eyebrows. Rumble. In his desperation, Ji Shui Immortal Monarch's green sword turned into a green ray. Yimo's crevice kai gradually grew faint in this green ray. Splurge. It was the sound of flesh being cut open. Everyone held their breath. They were familiar with this sound. It was the sound of body about to cripple. Ji Shui Immortal Monarch was extremely shocked. Just when he wanted to use his trump card, he saw that 10-meter long purple sword hanging above his forehead, but it stopped. If it continued to strike down, his body would have been cut in half. Even so, there was a long bloody mark on Ji Shui Immortal Monarch's forehead. Just one move, an Immortal Monarch middle stage lost to an Immortal King. This was too terrifying. Just who are you? Ji Shui Immortal Monarch asked shakily. The nearby Immortals took in a cold breath. This was their first time seeing such an absurd Immortal King. Those Immortal Kings were even shaking. Only they knew that Yi Mo had already fought a heavy battle with someone far stronger, Ji Shui Immortal Monarch. Under such situation, Yi Mo could still subjugate an Immortal Monarch middle stage immediately. He was too terrifying. Yi Saint, who made her way over, also saw this move, but she knew Yi Mo's power just like Ding Jie. In her eyes, Yi Mo was bound to become a godlike figure. Yi Mo wouldn't even be afraid of immortal emperors in the future, much less an immortal monarch. Her eyes lit up. She had only parted from Yi Mo for a few years and his power increased many times. Who I am doesn't concern. I can let you go this time. Tell me about Xiaoyun. Otherwise, I won't be so polite next time. Yi Mo said coldly. Ji Shui Immortal Monarch took in a cold breath. Although he had many god arts he didn't use yet, he knew he was no match for Yi Mo even if he used them. You're a mere Immortal King. Are you really going to fight Wuyin Sound River? Ji Shui Immortal Monarch said. Yi Mo waved his hand. Zishu fell back into the sheath. Then, Yi Mo said coldly, if I was going to fight Wuyin Sound River you would be dead now. You just need to answer me if Mu Xiaoyun is still at Wuyin Sound River. Where is she? Take me to Wuyin Sound River to find her and your business is over. Ji Shui Immortal Monarch said coldly, even if you kill me I can't take you to find that Mu Xiaoyun. First, I've never seen her nor heard of her. Second, if was brought back by Wuyin Martial Ancestor, I can't enter the Wuyin Peak where Wuyin Martial Ancestor lives. Yi Mo ignored Ji Shui and said to Ding Jie, I'm going to find Xiaoyun. Where are you going? Of course with you. No matter how big of a sect Wuyin Sound River is, I believe they wouldn't stop you seeing your friend. Ding Jie said. Brother Yi, I'll go with you. Yi Saint flew over and said. Ji Shui Immortal Monarch sunk his face and said, Ding Jie, you're one of the most core Immortal King of Kai He Emperor sect. Do you know what the consequence of going to Wujia Sound River is? Is your Kai He Emperor sect going to fight Wujia Sound River? And Yi Saint, you're the saint of Jufan Immortal Pond, yet you call random man brother and you're also going to Wujia Sound River. Do you think we're easy to abuse? Ding Jie laughed. Ji Shui Immortal Monarch, I'm respecting you by calling you Immortal Monarch. Wujia Sound River is indeed a big sect, much bigger than my Kai He Emperor sect. But is going with Yi Mo to find his friend fighting Wujia Sound River? If you're really going to count that as fighting Wujia Sound River, I'll take it. There's nothing I'm afraid of. Your sect's name is big but not enough to scare me. Yi Saint said plainly, brother Yi has helped me greatly. His business is my business. If Ji Shui Qianbei has to say that me saying brother Yi is against the rules of Jufan Immortal Pond, then you can go report me at Jufan Immortal Pond. If my sect kicks me out, then I have nothing to say. Ji Shui Immortal Monarch's face changed. If it was some other sect, his threats could suppress them, but Ding Jie and Zhong Tai are both from Emperor sects. Although they weren't as strong as Wujia Sound River, they couldn't be ignored easily. Plus, these two were the top-level sect members. They were the future of the sect. Yi Mo patted Ding Jie's shoulder, but before he could say anything, Ding Jie laughed. Brother Yi, if you look down on me, North Time Immortal King, then don't let me go. Yi Mo didn't want Ding Jie involved, but since he said this, Yi Mo laughed. Okay, let's go Wujia Sound River together. I want to see how they won't let me take Xiaoyun. Then, Yi Mo released Spacetime Boat. Ding Jie, Yi, let's go to Wujia Sound River. Yi Mo didn't care about revealing his low-grade flying god artifact since he revealed his Immortal King identity. He believed that he could protect himself even against Immortal Emperor. He didn't need to be so fearful. Yi Mo believed an Divine Emperor wouldn't come looking for his trouble for a low-grade god artifact. Seeing the three leave, Ji Shui Immortal Monarch sneered. Taking people from Wujia Sound River, are they arrogant or ignorant? Seeing Yi Mo leave in Spacetime Boat, many people were jealous and envious, but no one dared to go up to rob it. As the bluish-grey dimension was opened, Many immortals flew out. Some immortal monarch and immortal king stayed and followed the immortal emperors. Yimo, do you think that realm that suddenly appeared would be the realm that disappeared? Ding Jie asked. Saint Yi Yi also looked at Yimo, she had the same suspicion. I understand. Yimo suddenly said. The two stared at Yimo in confusion. Yimo said something completely irrelevant. Xiaoyun was later tested to be pure wood spirit root. She cultivated slow because of her cultivation method before. Later on she cultivated slow because she miss me a lot and didn't have the mind to cultivate. Ding Jie and Yi Yi glanced at each other but didn't interrupt Yimo's thoughts. They had guessed just how important Mu Xiaoyun was to Yimo. Spirit sense can't scan in at all. An immortal emperor primary stage came to the crevice where Yimo was cultivating before and said, Spirit sense can't scan in at all. An immortal emperor primary stage came to the crevice where Yimo was cultivating before and said, they were all immortal emperors but none of them want to go in first, including Feng Kong and Blood River Grand Emperor. At this moment, an extremely dense immortal spirit Kai came out of the black hole. Such dense immortal spirit Kai, the immortal emperors glanced at each other. I'll go in first. As soon as Feng Kong Grand Emperor said this, the immortal emperors saw a blood color silently sweep past and go into the black hole. A blood spear, the essence spirit controlling it is very weak but is very experienced, he could even cheat us. Blood River Grand Emperor looked and said. Feng Kong Grand Emperor sneered and immediately got up, instantly dashing into this black hole. The rest of the immortal emperors saw this and all followed in. After another while, a few immortal kings arrived here too. However, these immortal kings were immediately swooped out by the black hole. Other than one, the rest of them were all torn to pieces. Wujia Sound River, it was the top sect in all of the entire Grand Heaven domain. Not even the Yu Heaven Lord dared to offend Wujia Sound River. 3 months later, Yimo's spacetime boat had went in Yu Heaven. A few days later, it appeared outside Wujia Sound River sect. Looking at the mountain range spanning a few 100,000 kilometers, Yimo gasped. Mo Yu Immortal Sect was rather grand, but throwing it in the Wujia Sound River, it wouldn't even be seen. In the few 100,000 kilometers of mountain ranges, the dense immortal spirit Kai clouds circulated in the air, mixing with ordinary cloud, forming a scene of extreme beauty. Amidst the clouds, 4 golden words floated about, Wujia Sound River. The words could be seen no matter which direction you looked at it. Songs of extremely pleasing immortal music sounded from inside the ranges, rejuvenating people's soul and making them not want to leave. This is Wujia Sound River. It has 2 main peaks. The first main peak is Wujia Peak. The second main peak is the peak where the immortal music is coming from, it's called Sound River Peak. It's said that Wujia Sound River is created by Wujia Immortal Emperor and Sound River Immortal Emperor together. The 2 immortal emperors reached the extreme of cultivation and disappeared in pursuit of Dao vindication. Ding Jie said, Brother Yi, Wujia Sound River has 4 immortal emperors now, other than Wu Hua Immortal Emperor and Wu Yin Immortal Emperor. There's 2 immortal emperor primary stage, they're Wu Yu Immortal Emperor and Wu Hui Immortal Emperor. Wu Hua Immortal Emperor isn't at Wujia Sound River, no one knows where he went. Wu Yin Immortal Emperor went to the new realm and shouldn't be back in a short while. But Wu Yu Immortal Emperor and Wu Hui Immortal Emperor are probably still here. Yi Yi hesitated and said what was in her heart. Yimo knew what she meant and waved his hand. I'm no match for Wujia Sound River, I know that very well. But my wife is at Wujia Sound River. Even though I know I'm no match for them, I still have to see her. Xiaoyun is your wife. Yi Yi was going to persuade Yimo to calm down, but hearing this, she immediately forgot her purpose. Yimo nodded yes, she's my wife, I haven't seen her for 100 years. Then Yimo looked at the Grand Wujia Sound River and sighed. He wasn't dumb, he knew it probably wouldn't be easy trying to take Xiaoyun from there. If Wu Yin Immortal Emperor was an ordinary person it was fine, but Wu Yin Immortal Emperor was the second strongest in the second. How could she easily let go of someone she brought back? If Wu Yin Immortal Emperor really took Xiaoyun to be her disciple, Yimo knew it was fine to leave her here for the moment, but he subtly felt that Wu Yin didn't bring Xiaoyun back to be her disciple. Yi Mo had been in contact with some immortal emperor and even divine emperor. He knew that in the immortal realm, even an immortal emperor had limitations on his lifespan. If one couldn't vindicate Tao at the end of his life, he would have to give up his body and possess another one, beginning cultivation again. Who was to be sure that Wuyin immortal emperor didn't bring Mu Xiaoyun back for possession? If Xiaoyun really ascended, then she was definitely pure wood spirit root. The immortal root it changed to would be extremely perfect too. On the way, Yi Mo had asked Yi Yi and Ding Jie about this Wuyin immortal emperor. He learned that she never had a Tao partner and her age was very old. She was older than many dead immortal emperors. Other than this, it was also fabled that she was an immortal pill Grand Master. The immortal pill Grand Master in the immortal realm was different to cultivation realm pill king. In the cultivation realm, the fire spirit root was the best for pill concoction, but in the immortal realm, rare flames could be found elsewhere. The real immortal pill great masters all came from wood immortal spirit roots. That was Mu Xiaoyun. Yi Mo, Yi Yi thinks that we should be polite first and try to avoid conflict. Ding Jie said. Yi Mo smiled. If I was really reckless, I would be killed that Ji Shuer immortal monarch. How can I let him live? I'll go knock. Ding Jie saw Yi Yi still in a daze, so he said. Yi Mo waved his hand. I'll go myself. You guys came with me. If something happened, you guys can get involved, but I don't want your sect to get involved too. Ding Jie heard this and nodded. If he knocked first, it meant he was leeing. If Yi Mo knocked them, it meant that they were just helping Yi Mo. Yi Mo stood before Wujia Sound River and said, Gong Hua Heaven Mo Yu immortal sect leader Yi Mo has come to visit. Then Ding Jie said, Great Red Heaven Kai He Emperor sect North Time immortal king Ding Jie has come to visit. Yi Yi quickly said, Fan Du Heaven Ju Fan immortal pond Saint Jean Tai has come to visit. Hearing this, Yi Mo was very grateful. He was just a low heaven domain sect leader. He didn't even have the right to talk before Wujia Sound River. Meanwhile, these two were different. No sect dares to ignore both of their sects at the same time, not even Wujia Sound River. Soon, they saw the sect mountain open. Two golden rays drew open and a beautiful immortal sound came from within. Moments later, an immortal king had come to greet. Behind him were tens of extremely beautiful female immortal standing on the rainbow cloud. Wujia Sound River welcomed the three immortal kings. It was a middle-aged immortal king. He looked very ordinary, but his smile seemed very genuine. This wasn't the top-level welcome, but for them three, it was rather respectful. After some greeting, the middle-aged immortal king led the way. Yi Mo and them soon went into the guest palace. The two sides were filled with people. It gave Yi Mo the feeling that Wujia Sound River already knew they were coming. The three immortal kings have come from a long way, lighting up and bringing honor to Wujia Sound River. I'm the sect leader, Liu Li. An immortal and ethereal-looking man walked in here. Yi Mo could tell this Liu Li was immortal monarch tertiary stage. Yi Mo didn't feel it was strange that an immortal monarch was the sect leader of Wujia Sound River. Most sects were like this. The strongest person wasn't the sect leader. Liu Li was relatively polite to Yi Mo, but after everyone sat down, Liu Li didn't talk to Yi Mo first but smiled at Ding Jie and Yi Yi, asking them about Kai He Emperor sect and Jufan immortal pond. It was as though Yi Mo was their follower. Even after that, he didn't ask about Mo Yu immortal sect. Yi Mo's face was calm and didn't show any anger. He came to take Xiaoyun away, not connect with Wujia Sound River. Yi Mo's face was calm and didn't show any anger. He came to take Xiaoyun away, not connect with Wujia Sound River. Ding Jie couldn't resist saying, Sect Leader Master, Yi Mo is my best friend, so I came with him this time. It's the same for Saint Yi Yi. Yi Yi got up and said, Yes, Ji Sheng Immortal Monarch Master, Brother Yi came to your honored sect for some business. The two used different ways to avoid called sect leader, clearly showing their discontent. Ji Sheng Immortal Monarch glanced at Yi Mo in confusion. He didn't expect a mere immortal king middle stage would have the capability to make Saint Yi Yi call him Brother Yi. Ji Sheng Immortal Monarch was very cunning. He immediately laughed. Mo Yu immortal sect leader came visit my Wujia Sound River. It's a great joy. We welcome you greatly. Come, Send up the immortal fruits and wine to greet the guests. With this, those female immortals on the side took out the wine and fruits, placing them on the tables. Yi Mo was very calm. This Ji Sheng was very cunning. It seemed like he suddenly changed. His sentence made it seem like he not only was admitting wrong and also showed how seriously he took Yi Mo now. It was as though him ignoring Yi Mo didn't happen at all. The only reason he did this was to verify how much Yi Yi and Ding Jie supported him. Yi Mo didn't care about the immortal fruits at all. He just got up and saluted with his fists. Yi Mo, greet Ji Sheng, immortal monarch master. I came to Wujia Sound River this time because I heard my wife Mu Xiaoyun was at your honored sect. So I came to take her away. Please fulfill my wish. Mu Xiaoyun? Ji Sheng, immortal monarch, repeated in confusion. This time he was really confused. Yes, Mu Xiaoyun. Yi Yi came up to explain how Mu Xiaoyun was brought back by Wuyin immortal emperor and was probably at Wuyin Peak now. Martial ancestor Wuyin brought her back. Ji Sheng, immortal monarch, dazed. If it was some ordinary disciple, he probably would have agreed on Ding Jie and Yi Yi's account. Ding Jie and Yi Yi's immortal king title couldn't be seen at all on the immortal king tablet, and news of this had long gotten out. Ji Sheng, immortal monarch, also knew that their future would be far greater than his. Otherwise, he wouldn't be coming to greet them personally. But since this involved Wuyin martial ancestor, it was hard. Even he didn't dare to waste time at Wuyin Peak. This. Ji Sheng, immortal emperor, hesitated and still said, sect leader Yi, if Mu Xiaoyun was an ordinary disciple, I can make the decision, but she was brought back by martial ancestor Wuyin. I can't make the decision. I have to wait until martial ancestor Wuyin comes back. Yi Mo immediately said, I'm very anxious. If sect leader really can't make the decision, I don't dare to trouble you, but it should be fine for me to just see her, right? Ji Sheng hesitated again. To see her, one must go to Wuyin Peak. Martial ancestor Wuyin wasn't here. Who would dare to go in? No, martial ancestor Wuyin isn't here. No one has the right to enter Wuyin Peak. Might be the sect leader, but I can't go in too. So I can't agree to your request. Ji Sheng could only say. Yi Mo was very desperate, but he knew he couldn't force his way here. Sect leader master, I'm a low heaven domain sect leader, and in terms of cultivation level I'm also a WN Bei. I shouldn't be troubling you, but Xiaoyun is indeed my wife. If I don't see her, my heart really can't rest. Martial ancestor Wuyin went to the new realm. It's uncertain when she would come back. WN Bei wouldn't be able to wait till that time. Yi Mo tried to speak euphemistically. But before Yi Mo finished, a sneer sounded. How dare you? You're saying that you must see that Mu Xiaoyun. If we don't let you see, you're not going to go. As this voice sounded, a figure that made people unable to breathe appeared at this palace. Yi Mo took the forefront of the pressure and immediately retreated a few steps. Only now did people see an aggressive-looking youth in the palace. Ji Sheng, greet martial uncle Wu Hui. Ji Sheng quickly bowed and said. The rest of the female immortals in the palace also bowed. Wu Hui waved his hand to Ji Sheng and stared at Yi Mo. Is that so? Yi Mo resisted against this strong pressure and said, yes, I must see her. Ha ha ha. Wu Hui, immortal emperor, laughed. A mere immortal king insect dares to act so cocky in front of me. I'm not going to let you see her. What are you going to do? Ding Jie and Yi almost couldn't take it when they didn't even face the pressure directly. One could imagine how much pain Yi Mo was in. Ding Jie quickly saluted with his fists. Kai He Emperor sect. Ding Jie, greet Wu Hui, immortal emperor master. Yi Mo is WN Bei's. So what about Kai He Emperor sect? A little immortal king has no right to talk here. On Kai He Emperor sect's account, I won't kill you. Piss off. Then, Wu Hui, immortal emperor, grabbed with immortal essence giant hand and Ding Jie was thrown out. Yi Yi's face changed and got up too. However, she couldn't even speak and was thrown out as well. Seeing this, Yi Mo knew things weren't good. Wu Hui then stared coldly. You're not bad, a mere immortal king, but you can injure my sect's immortal monarch. The emperor shall see how strong you are. Then Wu Hui grabbed towards Yi Mo. Yi Mo's heart sunk. He finally knew what was going on. This Wu Hui immortal emperor didn't care about Mu Xiaoyun but cared about how an immortal king could beat an immortal monarch. If he was caught, he would be dead for certain. Realizing this, Yi Mo punched out without hesitation. Space shatter. Yi Mo used this at full power without hesitation. Immediately, 9 space-shattering storms formed. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Wu Hui's immortal essence giant hand dissipated, but Yi Mo was struck back flying. He spat a mouthful of blood and broke out of the palace. Seeing this battle, Ji Sheng immortal monarch's face changed. He saw clearly that even he couldn't stop Yi Mo's punch. He didn't know Yi Mo was this strong as he didn't receive news from Ji Shui immortal monarch. If he knew Yi Mo was this strong, he wouldn't suggest using the means that martial uncle Wu Hui used. It wasn't easy for Wujia Sound River to reach today. It was extremely dumb to offend someone with terrifying potential. If they could kill him it was fine, but if not, it would bring endless trouble to Wujia Sound River. Wu Hui didn't expect Yi Mo broke through his immortal emperor binding with one punch and charged out of the palace. No wonder Ji Shui was no match for you. You have some power indeed. Wu Hui rejoiced. The stronger Yi Mo was, the bigger his secret was. He was also shocked Yi Mo could break through this palace. Its formation wasn't the best but was still a defense shielding formation. If one didn't know formation, even an immortal emperor might not be able to break through it. This meant that first, Yi Mo was a good immortal formation great master. Another was that Yi Mo might be a powerful body refinement immortal, or he can't break the formation with his body. Martial uncle Wu Hui. Just when Wu Hui immortal emperor wanted to charge out, Ji Sheng immortal monarch called. You want to say this person has boundless potential? We shouldn't offend him before capturing him, right? Wu Hui immortal emperor said coldly. Ji Sheng immortal monarch quickly said, wise martial uncle. Mate, seal the sect now. If I let a mere immortal king leave, I would be too useless. Wu Hui immortal emperor said coldly. Bastard. Ding Jie cursed outside the sect. Bastard. Ding Jie cursed outside the sect. Yi Yi asked desperately, Ding Jie, what do we do now? As soon as she said this, there was a rumbling sound. The Wujia Sound River they could see with their spirit sense was now gone. Wu Hui, that old bastard, sealed the sect because he doesn't want Yi Mo out. We're too weak now, it's pointless worrying. Ding Jie felt helpless. Yi Yi had calmed down now, she was also thinking desperately for a way. Ding Jie suddenly said, Zhong Tai, we're friends with Yi Mo, right? Of course, without brother Yi, I wouldn't be able to create my god art no matter what, and I wouldn't be able to get out of the title status tower and reach the top to write my name. Yi Yi said without hesitation. Good. Ding Jie said and continued, it's useless even if we charge in with our current power, plus we can't even get in. The only thing we can do is ask our sect for help. There was a sliver of disappointment in Yi Yi's eyes. Martial brother Ding, I'm afraid this is very hard. Although I'm the saint of Jufan Immortal Pond, it's not because how strong I am but because my talent is high. Although my master is very nice to me, she might not be able to persuade the immortal emperor in the sect to help brother Yi against Wujia Sound River. Your sect would probably be the same too. There was a sliver of absolution in Ding Jie's eyes. Yi Yi, even if you don't say it, I know. There's a 90% chance that the immortal emperor in the sect wouldn't come help Yi Mo. If Wu Hui kept us two there, it would be easier, but Wujia Sound River didn't touch us at all. Our sect has no reason to intervene. Martial brother Ding, what do you mean? Yi Yi looked at Ding Jie in confusion. Ding Jie said heavily that Wu Hui wouldn't attack Yi Mo for no reason. The only reason is that he feels Yi Mo's cultivation speed is really fast and could easily beat Ji Shui Immortal Monarch. That's why he wanted to check Yi Mo's secrets. If I'm not wrong, Yi Mo is very dangerous in that formation. Then what do we do? Yi Yi was also very desperate. Ding Jie said coldly, it's never late to get revenge. If I can't get my sect to help, then I will go to Mo Yu Immortal Sect and protect the sect first. No matter if Wujia Sound River would attack Yi Mo's sect, I must go help. When I'm strong enough, I will help Yi Mo get revenge. If I can't get help too, I will go with you. Yi Yi said. The difference in power was too great, it made them both feel helpless. The reason Yi Mo could break out of this palace was just as Wu Hui Immortal Emperor guessed. He saw the formation clearly and used Immortal God Body to his advantage. In the first fight with Wu Hui Immortal Emperor, he knew he was completely no match for him. The difference between Immortal Emperor and Immortal Monarch was even greater than Immortal King and Great Eternity Immortal. If he stayed to fight, it would be certain death. When Yi Mo broke out of the palace, he used instant transmission immediately, but not towards outside but the inside. Since Wu Hui Immortal Emperor was attacking him, the formation must be sealed. Even if he was an Immortal Formation Grand Master, he wouldn't be able to break open the formation quickly. Of course, Yi Mo knew that no matter which direction he used instant transmission in, the space ripples would be noticed. So after one instant transmission, Yi Mo immediately hid himself and used instant transmission to go back before changing direction. Yi Mo knew clearly that no matter which direction he went, he wouldn't be able to hide it from Wu Hui Immortal Emperor. Wu Hui was only an Immortal Emperor primary stage, and he was this terrifying. If he encountered Immortal Emperor middle stage or even tertiary stage, he would be certainly dead. Yi Mo could only rest his hopes on his power stealth cultivation method. Wu Hui immediately caught the space ripples from Yi Mo's instant transmission and sneered, he has some power indeed. A mere immortal king can instant transmission such a distance. No wonder he dares to come here. As he spoke, Wu Hui Immortal Emperor took a step and arrived at where Yi Mo was before. His smirk froze on his face. He couldn't feel the next space ripple. There was no way Wu Hui Immortal Emperor would believe a small immortal king could get away right under his eyes, but 5 minutes later, he realized he lost his target. Ji Sheng. Wu Hui yelled coldly. Ji Sheng immediately came up and said, Ji Sheng, greet martial uncle. Tell everyone in the sect about Immortal King to search for this person. He's definitely still in Wujia Sound River and he has a powerful stealth cultivation method. Even I can't see through it. Hearing this, Ji Sheng's face changed. He feared the most that Yi Mo would get away. What are you scared of? I don't believe a mere immortal king would be able to escape from my hands when he's in the formation of the sect. Wu Hui Immortal Emperor was very unhappy with Ji Sheng's reaction and reproached. Yes, Ji Sheng will immediately arrange it. Ji Sheng Immortal Monarch was annoyed but had to agree. Wu Hui Immortal Emperor was the weakest Immortal Emperor in the Wujia Sound River and didn't reach Immortal Emperor for long, but his talent was very powerful. As an infinitely near level 7 Immortal Formation Grand Master, how could he not know that stealthing himself in the formation was dangerous? As soon as he got back to the guest palace, he carefully moved. Yi Mo just wanted to find a place to hide. It was impossible to leave Wujia Sound River now. Even if he could, he wouldn't leave. Xiaoyun was still here. Wu Hui stayed at where Yi Mo first went for 5 minutes, this time gave Yi Mo great help. He used this time to leave the guest palace and carefully move along another direction. 4 hours later, Wu Hui Immortal Emperor finally realized something was wrong. 4 hours had gone by and the entire sect was searching. Wujia Sound River seemed big, but it really was nothing when the entire sect was searching. I understand. Wu Hui came back to the guest palace and started searching carefully. He finally realized why Yi Mo was completely gone after the first instant transmission. Yi Mo definitely instant transmissioned back immediately. However, when he realized this, 4 hours had gone. Such a cunning bastard. Wu Hui Immortal Emperor cursed and pointed at the few Immortal Formation Grand Master and said, watch the sect formation closely. If there's any signs, tell me immediately. Yes. The Immortal Formation Masters bowed. Yi Mo was far from the guest palace now. He carefully controlled his Kai, not daring to release it at all. He didn't even dare to go into the Golden Page world. Although the Golden Page world could turn into a speck of dust, it wasn't safer than him stealthing himself. Against an Immortal Emperor, even the smallest speck of dust can be exposed. Luckily Wu Yin and Wu Hua Immortal Emperors weren't in the sect, or it would be really hard to say if he would be caught or not. With a few Immortal Formation Masters joining in, there were a few times Yi Mo was almost caught. Yi Mo knew that if he stayed in one place, there would be less chance he would be caught. However, he came in not to avoid being caught but to take away Xiaoyun. With a few Immortal Formation Masters joining in, there were a few times Yi Mo was almost caught. Yi Mo knew that if he stayed in one place, there would be less chance he would be caught. However, he came in not to avoid being caught but to take away Xiaoyun. 12 hours later, Wu Hui, Immortal Emperor, was finally getting annoyed. His spirit sense ravaged the sect. He didn't even let go of some solitary cultivation places. Yi Mo was shocked. He knew that if he continued like this he would eventually be exposed. The Immortal Emperor's spirit sense was scanning everywhere. When two immortal kings passed by Yi Mo really wanted to subjugate them and ask where Wuyin Peak was, but he knew that he couldn't do this. If he didn't do that, the Wu Hui Immortal Emperor might think he had left the Sound River. If he did this, then even an idiot would know he was still in here. No need to go ahead, the two main peaks have natural formation. Now that Wu Hua Martial Ancestor and Wuyin Martial Ancestor both aren't at the sect, no one can go in. The Sound River is about to be activated. We'll go around and check out Wuyin Peak. Yi Mo heard this clearly and immediately rejoiced. When the two was far away, Yi Mo immediately dashed towards the direction they didn't go. After going for less than 15 minutes, Yi Mo heard this strange sound. At the start he didn't care, but soon he felt things wasn't right. That sound was like worms that stuck to his bones. It went into his meridians and sea of consciousness, almost making him scream out loud. Yi Mo was shocked. This sound was too terrifying. If he didn't go into the Golden Page world and kept listening for 7 minutes, he wouldn't be able to stay stealthed. At the start, the sounds were only slivers, but after half a minute, the sound came in waves of the river about to flood Yi Mo. Yi Mo used the 3 birth chant to resist against this terrifying sound. No wonder this place was called Wujia Sound River. If he didn't think of a way to leave, he would have to go into the Golden Page world or he would be exposed. Yi Mo didn't hesitate and immediately called out, Small Ginseng, I heard there's a natural formation here. It leads to the 2 main peaks. Take the Golden Page world and find this natural formation and go in. Boss, it's right ahead, leave it to me. I will get in as quickly as possible. Small Ginseng patted its chest. I'll go into the Golden Page world. Can you enter the natural formation before you can't withstand the natural formation? Yi Mo wasn't certain if Small Ginseng would be able to last without his protection. Small Ginseng smiled, Boss, I'm a natural immortal spirit. This sound doesn't have much effect on me, don't worry. Hearing this, Yi Mo immediately went into the Golden Page world. Small Ginseng took the Golden Page world and disappeared with lightning speed. In fact, Small Ginseng already brought the Golden Page world into the natural formation. 5 minutes later, Yi Mo came out of the Golden Page world. He found he was in a completely different place. The sound could still come in, but it was much weaker. Yi Mo's spirit sense scanned the 3 huge words Wuyin Peak. At this moment, he finally breathed easy. Wu Hui Immortal Emperor would definitely not be able to come in here. Even if he knew he was here, Wu Hui Immortal Emperor wouldn't dare to come in unless he dared to break Wuyin's natural formation. Yi Mo knew that he had to take away Xiaoyun before Wuyin Martial Ancestor came back. Otherwise, he would be a bug in a jar. There were only a few low-level female immortals at Wuyin Peak, no one else. Yi Mo's spirit sense scanned everywhere here and didn't worry about people knowing. Although there was a natural formation outside, the formations inside were everywhere. Yi Mo had to constantly break all sorts of formation. There was a top-level stealth formation in the depth of the Wuyin Peak and a good-looking garden. There was a blue room inside and an extremely beautiful woman wearing a pale yellow dress sitting in a blue room. She had a troubled look on her face. I won't believe your words. My husband told me that I must not give anyone my cultivation method. This woman suddenly said, but there was no one in the room. As soon as she said this, there was a sneer. Mu Xiaoyun, stop being stubborn. Now, Wuyin, this bitch isn't here. If she comes back, then even if you want to tell me, you have no opportunity. Tell me now, as long as I break free I can help you. Clearly, this extremely beautiful woman wearing yellow dress was Mu Xiaoyun. When Mu Xiaoyun was hesitating, the voice said again, is your cultivation method important or finding your husband important? If you don't leave here quickly, then you would be possessed by Nuan Shuyu, that bitch, in a few hundred years. What do you think she brought you here for? If she was going to take you in as disciple, she would have long done so. Nuan Shuyu, that bitch, is pure wood immortal spirit root and a natural pill Dao body. You're exactly the same as her. The reasons she hasn't possessed you yet is first to see if she can vindicate Dao, and second she wants to see if she could find someone better. Mu Xiaoyun was confused. Since she was the most suitable for Nuan Shuyu, why did she want to find someone better? Mu Xiaoyun didn't ask, but that voice clearly knew what she thought and sneered. Nuan Shuyu, that bitch acts so cold and hates men. She extremely dislikes how you're not a virgin. Hearing this, Mu Xiaoyun's eyes showed longing. Luckily for her husband, if it wasn't for him, she might be possessed now already. H. Don't rejoice too early. If she can't find someone suitable, the first thing she does after coming back would be possessing you. If you still want to see your husband, then tell me your husband. Do you think I would greed for your cultivation method? Luo Biue, is not low enough to greed for the cultivation method of a newly ascended cultivator. It's because your cultivation method has no element and has a sliver of God rune. It might help me break my restriction. Mu Xiaoyun hesitated and said, but, my husband. Your husband, how are you so obstinate? From what you said before, your husband might be in that small world or on Earth. If you don't hurry up and break free and become powerful, then when your husband dies of old age you might not see him. A mere cultivation method is nothing. The voice rebuked. Hearing this, Mu Xiaoyun made up her mind. Luo Qianbei, my cultivation method is called Primordial Chaos Chant. When my husband gave it to me, he said it was left behind by a Qianbei called Mengzhe. When Primordial Chaos first opened, fate was not yet born. 3 birth is behind, fate is before, how can it surpass Primordial Chant? At the beginning of Kai, nourish the mother of soul. Luo Biue was confused at the start, but hearing the latter parts she completely forgot about it. Such almighty cultivation method made her feel it was unreal. She was certain not even the immortal realm had such top-level cultivation method. Rumble. A sound suddenly stopped Mu Xiaoyun reading the cultivation method. A veiled, extremely beautiful woman suddenly appeared in Mu Xiaoyun's room. The space waves allowed Mu Xiaoyun to know that this person broke the space restriction to come here. Good cultivation method, there's such cultivation method. I have never seen such God-level cultivation method. This extremely beautiful woman murmured. Qian Bei. Mu Xiaoyun was shocked. She didn't expect this. Luo Biue only heard her chant the cultivation method and could break free. Just how powerful was this person? Luo Biue woke up and said, Xiaoyun, don't worry, I will definitely take you to leave. Nuan Shuyu, that bitch isn't at Wuyin Peak, it's our opportunity. Wait on the side, I'm going to take out transmission rune. Just when Luo Biue wanted to take out a transmission rune from her sea of consciousness, the sound beams came in. She dazed and then suddenly laughed. The sound river is activated. This meant that someone has broken in. This is a perfect opportunity for us. Yimo had come to the center of Wuyin Peak. Small Ginseng's voice sounded, boss, there is immortal spirit source below here. It's probably the immortal range of Wuyin Peak. Yimo had come to the center of Wuyin Peak. Small Ginseng's voice sounded, boss, there is immortal spirit source below here. It's probably the immortal range of Wuyin Peak. Hearing this, Yimo thought, he needed too much cultivation resources. The reason he only reached Immortal King middle stage after a few decades in the blue-gray dimension was because he didn't have cultivation resources. Thinking about this, Yimo immediately said, Small Ginseng, check where the immortal range is and after you find it tell me. I'm going to look for her. Before we find her we can't touch the stuff here. Okay. Small Ginseng agreed and charged out of the Golden Page world and disappeared. In terms of speed, even Shadowless isn't as fast as Small Ginseng. Yimo's Spirit Sense domain and Spirit Sense blades immediately hacked out. He would hack everywhere with stealth restriction. When Yimo found some immortal spirit herb gardens, he would take them without hesitation. Yimo almost searched the entire Wuyin Peak and still found no signs of Xiaoyun. He became desperate. He was scared Wuyin had a small world or truth spirit world, that way he would never be able to know where Xiaoyun was. Crack. A light sound broke the restriction outside Mu Xiaoyun's room. Mu Xiaoyun looked at Luo Biue in shock. Luo Qianbei, what is this? It's definitely the guy that Wujia Sound River is hunting. He came into here. We need to leave quickly. This guy can break the restrictions here. He's no simple character. Xiaoyun, do you have extra clothes? Give me one set. Luo Biue took out a rune. Mu Xiaoyun took out a set of clothes to Luo Biue, but there was this indescribable feeling in her heart as though she just needed to wait a little. Luo Biue changed her clothes and said, Xiaoyun, we can go now. The sect sealing formation is top level, but it can't stop my rune. But Luo Qianbei, I feel my husband isn't far. Mu Xiaoyun said. Luo Biu sighed. Xiaoyun, I understand your feeling, I was just like you before. Although I don't know where your husband got this primordial chaos chant from, I'm certain that it's an extreme level cultivation method that steals the fortune of the world. It gives me the feeling that the better the talent, the faster you cultivate. People with weak talent can't cultivate this cultivation method at all. I don't know what your husband's talent is, but I'm certain it's not better than yours. Qianbei, you're saying that my husband hasn't ascended yet? Mu Xiaoyun looked at Luo Biue in confusion. Luo Biue nodded yes. I used this opportunity of Wuyin leaving in a rush to break free from the restriction with your cultivation method. I wanted to take you as my disciple, but your cultivation method is too powerful. I don't dare to be your master. Don't call me Qianbei anymore, call me Sister Biue. You just ascended, so I'm guessing your husband definitely hasn't ascended yet. According to what you said, you were accidentally teleported to a cultivation realm and was taken in by the top sect. That's why you had the opportunity to cultivate till immortal ascension. Your husband probably would have less chance in that small world. Nuan Shuyu, this bitch set me up and robbed my path of Dao vindication, but still can't vindicate Dao. I don't have the power to get revenge now, so I can only go into hiding. Xiaoyun, you have the top cultivation method, but I can tell you're a very kind soul and you care about your husband a lot. Before you find him, even if I take you away from Wujia Sound River, it would be very hard for you to survive alone in the cultivation realm. With your talent, it's not hard for you to join a big sect, but if Wuyin, that bitch, comes back, she definitely wouldn't let you go. Offending Wuyin for you, I don't think there's such a sect in the entire immortal realm. So eventually you might still get taken away by her. Sister Biue, Mu Xiaoyun was nervous. Luo Biue was right. Even if she escaped from Wujia Sound River, where could she go? Luo Biue said seriously, I'm going to hide and go into solitary cultivation. If you're willing, come with me. Although my cultivation method isn't as good as yours, my knowledge of cultivation is far stronger than you. I can give you a few pointers. If you can become an immortal emperor in the future, you can search the entire 33 heavens, or you can even tear open the void and look at the magical continent. Seeing Mu Xiaoyun not talk, Luo Biue sighed. In reality, I don't know if your husband would still be alive when you have the ability to tear open the void, but even if he isn't, he's lucky to be able to find someone as loyal as you. Sister Biue, why don't you think I'm dumb? When I joined a sect in the cultivation realm, many people said I was dumb to long for a cultivator who wasn't even foundation establishment state. Mu Xiaoyun looked up at Luo Biue. Luo Biue sneered, dumb? Although I haven't seen your husband, I can tell he treats you very well. My husband treats me very, very well. There was a sliver of softness in Mu Xiaoyun's eyes. Those who call you dumb do so because they haven't found someone who treats them very well. So, they're jealous and angry and want to break apart all lovers and laugh hysterically. Luo Biue clenched her teeth. Sister Biue? Mu Xiaoyun said worriedly. Luo Biue waved her hand. I'll you about this in the future, let's go first. We shouldn't stay here for long. Then, Luo Biue spat out a rune and spat some essence blood on it before saying to Mu Xiaoyun, Xiaoyun, come over quickly and hold on to me tightly. Mu Xiaoyun knew she had no choice but to follow this Sister Biue. The transmission rune activated bright light. Mu Xiaoyun couldn't even see what was before her. Just a few seconds later, white light smashed out of the transmission rune and the two disappeared in the light. The instant their rune left Wuyin Peak, Wu Hui Immortal Emperor noticed it and sneered, there's a transmission rune that can break our sect sealing formation. You're indeed no ordinary immortal king. I want to see how many good things you have. He has gone, I'll immediately chase. Wu Hui Immortal Emperor said and then disappeared. Yimo immediately noticed the huge commotion caused by Luo Biue's rune. He soon came to Mu Xiaoyun's rune. The space ripples were still there. Yimo could immediately tell that it was caused by top-level transmission rune. Who would be here to use such high-level rune? Xiaoyun just ascended, she definitely didn't have the ability to use such rune. A familiar sensation came up his head. Yimo frowned and suddenly took out formation flags, setting up formation. He was endlessly close to level 7 immortal formation Grandmaster. As long as the people in this room didn't leave for too long, he could recove the image. 5 minutes later, Yimo had a crystal ball in his hand. Seeing the familiar face, Yimo's heart raced with overwhelming excitement. Xiaoyun told her cultivation method to Luo Biue. Luo Biue took away Luo Biue. Yimo could tell Luo Biue was very powerful. Yimo put away the crystal ball and let out a long sigh of relief. Xiaoyun was fine. He didn't know who Luo Biue was, but he could tell she meant no harm at all. With Mu Xiaoyun gone, Yimo didn't want to stay here anymore. Just when he wanted to call Small Ginseng sent a message. It had found the immortal range. There was 2 extreme grade immortal range. Yimo immediately came to where Small Ginseng was, and indeed, there were 2 extreme grade immortal range. Boss, let's take away both. Small Ginseng said. Yimo hesitated for a moment and said, never mind, let's take one first, and we need to make it subtle. When I reach Immortal Emperor, I will come back and take all the immortal ranges away. With Mo Yu Immortal Sect behind him, Yimo had to be careful. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.